Well, happy Saturday, everybody. Welcome back. This is our second special edition of Crypto Casey and her love of the GoBabyTrade robotic crypto autonomous trading and money management platform. Today, you're here for an education, excitement. You have two of the biggest brains in the planet on the planet as far as it pertains to automation, AI, crypto, decentralized finance. Don't blink. Well, you can blink because this is recorded and it's going to be shared. So, but if you miss anything, watch it again because you're going to be wowed with some things. I'm going to post in the chat again, Crypto Casey's video that she released just this morning. That is a perfect synopsis of how this platform and system will change your life if you participate. So with that, I'm going to share uh, some expectations. But first of all, I'd like to welcome. I'm your host, Edward Pereira. My good friend and business partner Attila Hebeshi is your co-host, and our extremely valuable panelists, Mr. Ed Barsano, who is the creator of this platform, 50 years of programming experience,
Great. Now
20,
everybody knows how old I am.
you're only 34. And then also automating the trading markets, both in the stock market and most recently in the last 5 years, automating the crypto market. And then Crypto Casey, if you don't know her, shame on you. She is the one of the most valuable, if not the most valuable resource that you have in the greatest wealth transfer that's happening under your nose, whether you know anything about it or not. She is your sage guide to everything crypto, how to make money without giving advice. She comes to us by random meeting, and she'll get a chance to tell that story. But it's pretty serendipitous how we've all come together in that relationship, and we would all not be here today if it weren't for a sort of an accidental meeting between Attila and Ed Barsano back in 2012. And not to spoil all the details, but get ready because you're going to see some amazing things that will change your life, but only will change your life if you choose to participate. So let me bring up my screen if I can find it. Here we go. Um,
Where
no, we
is
can't
that
find it.
screen? Just to recap, while you're looking for that, Edward, I want to make sure everybody that's new today understands that you may be questioning, like, who exactly are Attila and Edward? Well, we are the support system and educational arm for Crypto Casey's audience as it pertains to the Go Baby Trade technology. So just want to be clear on that.
Okay, good. Thanks for the cover. Okay, can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to set some expectations by asking you some questions. So as you read, as I cover these, and your eyes are already scanning it now, ask yourself which scenario are you currently in? Is it what we've deemed the rat race, working just to pay your bills? The government created an acronym called JOB, just over broke. If you find yourself there where you're working day and night and you're living paycheck to paycheck simply to pay your bills, are you in that scenario? I know I've been. Not anymore, but I've been. And I would imagine, quite a few people out there as well. Or are you feeling a little bit more comfortable in scenario number two, and you're in the middle class trap, right? From all the education that you paid for over the years, potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars in education. I don't, this is not mean against anybody. It's just the way that the trap system is built, and that majority of the people go to college, come out with 120 to $250,000 in debt. And what they learned by the time they learned it and graduated, that information is obsolete. So begin to ask yourself why, or why have you not been shown a better way, other than to uh, go to school, get a job, trade time for money. There's one thing you can't make more of: You can always make money, but you can't make more time. What we're going to show you today is a glimpse of being able to buy some of your time back, which means you get to spend those valuable heartbeats with your family, with your friends, with your kids. I'm an old guy. I'm not the oldest here, but I'm I'm an old guy. I've got an 11-year-old son, and I'm going on 62. So I want to be here, and I want to have opportunities like this to be able to create a legacy for my children's children. So pay very close attention. But do you find yourself in scenario two, where you're making enough income? You've been told that you have to build your credit because credit is everything. Listen closely, it's not. Only to be able to buy what are liabilities and not assets. Yes, you have to have a house, you have to have a roof over your head, but everybody wants to tell you that getting indebted in a mortgage is your asset. It may be over time, but that is not going to create what is absolutely necessary in your life, which is cash flow, asset producing cash flow, income producing assets, which you'll see in scenario three. Anybody put in the chat no or yes if everybody here would prefer themselves to be in scenario three where they've got financial freedom. You're sitting back on your porch drinking a margarita or a beer, and you're able to spend more time with everybody that counts in your life because you're only here for a blink, right? So with that, I'm going to take you to the next slide, and we'll come back to this. So what I'm going to make a promise to you now. What you're going to see today, when you come out of the back end of this presentation, we'll have shown you how to start with as little as $500 and add to your savings account called not a bank, but GoBabyTrade, and this will all make sense. We'll tie all the knots together. That over a 9-year period, of course, you can do it faster, but starting with just $500, a real world scenario that will put you in a position where you can have over $11,000 a month in passive income. Not hard, bite size. How do you eat an elephant? One
One
bite
bite
at
at
a
a
time.
time.
So you're
Can
gonna,
I make a comment about this screen?
sure. Yeah, I know you don't
You
like the guy in the lounge chair.
know, no, I just remember I was sitting here, I was trying not to talk the whole time you were talking, and which gave me a lot of time to think actually, which is something I don't usually do. But I remember those phases, those three phases in my life. And and you know what? The stress gets bigger and bigger the further you go to the right.
Except
'Cause
for when you get to scenario three.
'cause-
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just I just remember the times when I didn't have a house and all that, and you were
It's
looking for
just,
a job. You're trying to figure out what do I do? What should I take?
I will
You
tell
know,
you,
and just moving forward. And I kind of jumped over number two because I went straight to Microsoft, and I kind of missed the two scenario. Um,
I'll make one comment on your comment, Ed, and that is the fact that, like most people, maybe not most, but like a lot of people out there, I've had stress when I had no money, and I've had stress when I've had now good money and a lot of
you
money.
actually have more stress the more money you have. You notice that?
Not me,
Not
because
me.
no,
Not me.
not me.
Maybe
I don't. Especially since the
maybe I should
digital.
shut down GoBabyTrade. I'll have less
No.
stress.
No,
Wow.
don't shut
I'm
it down.
kidding.
Yeah, so I'm just saying that it's options are good in life, and you just have more options to deal with stress and other things when you don't have to think about how am I going to get the money to pay for this or that or take care of that issue. Most
Yeah,
issues in life are
that's a terrible
financial.
feeling. Yeah.
Most issues are financial. That's what most divorces happen because of financial issues. So
True.
anyway, I digress.
Yep.
Yeah.
Before,
If I get a divorce, it's because I got caught going to Jack in a Box.
hey, before we leave the screen, think about this. To get to scenario number three, it takes you, if you're working, certainly salary to invest in income producing assets. And quite frankly, when you think about it and tear it down, there are very few income producing assets that you can create for yourself. You can own a business, which is a whole lot of work. When you work for yourself, it's more rewarding, but it's also double or triple the hours. You can own real estate, hundreds of thousands of dollars in real estate to hopefully have a positive cash flow, but you end up with three T's: toilets, trouble, and tenants that you always have to deal with. Been there too. Or you can own thousands and thousands of dollars worth of stocks, income producing stocks that will produce cash flow. However, if you want to do it the easy way, then you are in the right place at the right time, because we're going to show you a ATM of you that allows you to control, securely, safely control everything that you do in this marketplace and take full advantage of this new digital money revolution. So,
All right.
3 pages. I mean, 3 pages, 3 words: automation, cash flow, safety, and security. I talked about them already, but we'll make sure by the end of this presentation, you'll understand exactly how you can create that environment, or actually participate in the environment we've already created for you that gives you automation. Because what do you need? You need something else to do because you don't have enough stuff to do. I can tell you this frees up a whole lot of time. Cash flow, life's always better if you've got more money at the end of the month instead of more month at the end of the money. And then if you're in this space, if you know anything about decentralized finance and cryptocurrency, then you know that there are scams left and right. There are people out there looking to break into your accounts and take your money and just point you in the wrong direction, right? If there's money to be made anywhere, there's somebody trying to take advantage of you. However, we've put that paramount at the top of this to let you know that you have an environment that is completely and 100% secured and controlled by you. One more slide. Look at the red parts, particularly you're here solely for educational and informational purposes only. Don't take anything that we say as financial, investment, tax, legal, or accounting advice. Ed, occasionally, since he's been married 73 years, we'll be
No,
able to
44.
potentially lend some marital advice, but that's it. And then I'll flash this up. These are questions that are going to roll in your head whether you read these or not. Does it work? Is it real? How much does it cost? How do I make it work? Is it complicated? All of the answers will come.
Yep.
This screen, don't pay much attention to it, but I told you we would paste a bunch of links and information for you to be able to do your own due diligence and do your own homework, um, uh, do your own research, as we always say. That puts you in a position where you can answer those questions that are in your head. If you don't get people to answer in the chat, and we don't address it in Q&A, then you will be able to reach us, even suggest a 15-minute Zoom call with one of our team members, and we'll walk you through. We'll give you a personal tour. So with that, I'm going to turn it over.
I just hit print screen, by the way.
Okay, cool.
So I got the whole screen saved.
All right, very good. Well, we're going to post the live links, and I'm happy to send it to you. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to my good friend Attila. He's going to give us a little bit of background of how we're all here today by the chance meeting in 2012. So with that, Attila, take it away.
Thank you. Another new name I've never seen. Darius, welcome. No, I think Darius has been with us. Your last name looks familiar, Darius. So welcome all new participants today. So my name is Attila Hevesi. I've been in the world of finance most of my life, just so you know a little bit about my background. And in one way or another, I was a financial planner, helped raise money for various hedge funds, mining projects, different things. But I don't want to bore you with the details, but in 2020, September, I dove in headfirst to learn all I could about this digital money revolution. You see, I missed the internet revolution totally. And I promised myself, seeing what I saw already 6 years ago, there's no way I'm going to miss this one. So I dug deep and I just decided to learn as much as I could, self-taught, developed put together a nice portfolio for myself. But I'm a cash flow guy. My parents always said cash is king. I believe that's out the window. Cash flow is king. So with that, I want to give a little background on how I met Mr. Barsano, because if it wasn't for that, none of us would be here today. And basically, he spent 8 years in the Navy as a young man, spent a couple years as in nuclear engineering for the government before he got hired in like around 1985 by Bill Gates at Microsoft, one of the first 350 programmers, developers there, and did extremely well for another 8.5 years, retired a young man. He was not even 40 yet, and was bored to death, invested in the tech stocks. And fortunately for all of us, he got creamed financially, lost about 60% of his net worth in 2000. So that's when he decided that, and he realized that this is a rigged game, as Casey alluded to on her video that just came out today. And
Oh, wow.
he said, you know what? I'm going to level the playing field for the average person. He built this not for the uber wealthy, not for Wall Street. He built it for the average Tom, Dick, and Harry, Sally, Susie, and who was the last one, Ed? Peggy? Was it Peggy?
Of course. Yeah.
Okay.
Don't forget Peggy.
Yeah. So,
Mhm.
he did that. He launched it in 2001, and the world had ne folks, this is amazing when you look at what this thing does today. It's even much more amazing if you think about him launching this 25 years ago in 2001. Back then, nobody saw anything near anything like this. Now, when I met him in 2012 BC, that's before crypto, um, I was introduced by a mutual friend, and he said, Attila, how would you like to make money in the stock market and not have to do anything? And I'm like, I don't think that's possible, but I heard from a very wise mentor once, your mind is like a parachute. It only works when it's open. So I said, tell me more. So he said, you got to meet this guy, Ed Barsano, former Microsoft programmer. And he put together an automated trader where literally it trades it for you 100% unattended. So I did get on a call with Ed. 20 minutes in, I'm like, timeout. I cried uncle and I said, I get it. This sounds amazing. I bought the license and I used it for many years and it worked amazing. I mean, imagine you downloaded the software for about 60 to 90 minutes and then you could go about your life and this thing just turned itself on with the stock market at 9:30, traded for you all day. Again, 100% unattended, set it and forget it, and turned itself off at 4 p.m. when the market closed. Never before seen. Unbelievable. So he teamed up right when I met him back then. He had teamed up with a marketing company and they sold $16 million worth of licenses in 2 years. And then Ed decided to go back being solo on his own. And in 2018-ish, he sold out to a hedge fund that had previously bought a lot of licenses from him. So this is where the story kind of takes a turn. About 25 months ago, I'm sitting at my desk, had a little bit of a frustrating day at the office, and I'm thinking, okay, I got a great crypto portfolio. I love cash flow. How do I safely and securely multiply my stable coins and my crypto for cash flow? And it took me a full day, but Ed's name popped in my head about 24 hours later. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'll bet somewhere along the lines, maybe in the last 3, 4 years, he more than likely developed a trader for the crypto market as well. So I called him on my handy cell phone. I still had his phone number in my address book, thankfully, and his number was still the same. So we spoke for 3 hours. He confirmed my hunch that yes, I built this and launched it April of 2021. And he said, Attila, it's light years ahead of the stock trader. And I was curious to know why. And he said, well, first of all, you've got to have massive volatility, maximum volatility to make a lot of money in any asset class, precious metals, Forex, stocks, crypto, futures, doesn't matter. He says crypto is one of the top most volatile asset classes. So that's number one. And then he said number two is that, gosh, what was number two? Number two, oh, I know. Number two was the fact that, well, actually, three and four is what really blew me away because he said, hey, this is not downloadable software anymore, which I was really glad to hear because I remember how it was not easy. It was not easy to do that back in 2012. It was a little bit
Well,
cumbersome.
you had a dial-up modem that
Yeah,
slowed things down.
extremely slowed it down. So he said it's web-based, and I wasn't 100% clear on what that meant. So he said, look, if you rebuy this license now and do the crypto trader, I'll have you connected live to your Coinbase or Kraken in about 8 to 10 minutes. And I'm like, whoa, say that again? Because it was nothing like 2012. So I bought the license on the spot, and sure enough, in about 8.5 minutes, I was connected to my Coinbase account. Now, the second thing that I had,
That was number two.
no, that was number three. Number two, which I forgot about, is the fact that you told me that the crypto market trades
Oh
24/7,
yeah, right.
365, and the stock market was only 6.5 hours a day, 5 days a week. That in and of itself is already a major advantage. If you took just that one thing out of the four, that's a biggie. The
What was number
exposure.
four?
Number four was the most important thing and should be the most important thing to everybody here with us today. And I think you and Casey will agree. The safety and security of your own funds.
Oh yeah,
You
right.
told me you created that API connection so that when someone buys the license, they connect automatically to their own crypto centralized exchange, which is either Coinbase or Kraken. Now, why is this important? Let me explain. This will make sense. In the 3 years previous to me connecting my phone to Ed Barsano that day, I had lost a lot of money in 5 different blockchain decentralized cash flow projects. The reason I lost those funds was because I sent them off to a third-party exchange or wallet. I did not have control of my funds. So when things went south, I lost out. So knowing that, when Ed told me that we control our funds, I was like, oh, Ed, we got to get this out to the world and let people know this exists. Because self-admittedly, Ed Barsano is a programming genius, but he's not a sales and marketing guy per se. So that's how we teamed up. And then eventually we hooked up with Casey, and that's why we're all here today. But before I introduce Ed and ask Casey a few questions moving forward, I want to ask everybody to keep two things in the forefront of your mind today. Number one, when we say set it and forget it, please appreciate that and understand that we mean that literally. Once you buy the license and you're connected live, there's no interaction or anything you need to do. Let me repeat that. Once you go live, you don't need to do anything. Literally nothing, zero. You could go on a trip around the world to Australia, forget your computer, have no internet access because you're out in the bush somewhere. And your trader is still making money on Ed Barsano servers on your behalf. That's truly set it and forget it. Now you're going to log into the trader probably every day and see what it's doing. That's a given. That's a natural. But as far as you need to interact or anything, nothing. Number two, please appreciate and understand and realize what this man has brought forth to the world, something that's never been done before. Without anybody being an accredited investor, without anybody knowing anything about trading, without anyone knowing anything about crypto even, you could now automate a portion or as much of your financial life as you'd like to automate, and you can make money in your sleep. Never been seen before for the average consumer before Ed Barsano created this. So with that, Ed, I'm going to turn this over to you so you could enlighten us as to the method to your madness, the bucket and the well. You're going to show Ed Barsano will share one of his live traders with us today. And then Casey, anywhere you want to jump in, just feel free to jump in.
All right, will do.
Cool. What, Ed?
Well,
I had to
Ed
take
could do
a
his
drink. I had a drink of my take a drink of my smart water before I get started.
Yes, sir.
The other thing is, I want to start out real quickly. I won't waste a lot of time here. Is 3 books that I live by. All right, technical analysis from A to Z. All these books are available. I mean, if you want to know what technical indicators are, this is the book. Tells you exactly what every indicator is and whether it's bullish or bearish. That is what how the AI is programmed with what's right out of that book. The next thing is mastering in the trading zone. What's important about this? This is amazing. I didn't write these books. This is amazing though, because they say a lot of what I say. That the strategy. Set the strategy and don't change the strategy. A lot of people change their strategy. They see a coin going down and then they panic and sell everything at a loss. I'm like, why'd you do that? I mean, going down was part of the strategy. That was just the strategy lives for the market going down. I mean, if you could buy Microsoft at 30 cents a share, that's gold. And why would you sell your coins? So Microsoft goes down to 30 cents and it sits there for a couple months and you say, well, it's not really moving, and then sell it all off at a loss. Makes no sense. Read this book, Mastering in the Trading Zone. And this is a book that I've been reading for literally 20 years or more, probably 30 years even. Sun Tzu's Art of War. But
I
look
have
at the
that.
bottom for traders and investors.
Mm.
This is Dean Lundell. This really talks about a lot about the corruption in the market. It talks about, don't call it corruption. Let's just talk about how the market is competing with you and you're losing.
No. Let's call it corruption because that's what
All
it
right.
is.
It's an easy book to read. You'll love it. I mean, Sun Tzu's Art of War for traders and investors. These are my three Bibles. Because I was reading Sun Tzu's Art of War before I automated the market, and I'm like, man, if the market's doing this stuff to us, we got to counter that. We got to counter that in the software. And so that's what I did. A lot of what I did in the software is comes right out of that book. So I'm not a genius, but I read books that other geniuses wrote. Um,
Mhm.
so, so anyways, we'll move on. The set it and forget it is the most important thing about this trader, really. And I have to say that now, especially nowadays, because the market has been sitting there. It's just not moving, and it's frustrating people. And the software has been buying beautifully from the top to the bottom. We're doing exactly what BlackRock's been doing. BlackRock is sitting on $100 billion worth of crypto. They didn't buy it all at the bottom. They bought it from the top to the bottom. Now, in our case, we bought it from the top to the bottom, but while it was going down, it was wiggling. So we were buying and selling, buying and selling, buying and selling, buying and selling, all the way to the bottom, and that's okay. Down is good. Even what's his name? Larry
Think.
Bank.
Fink. I should know that name. Yeah, it was my high school principal's name, Dr. Fink. Um, so Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, he even said it in a video just about a week ago. He said the people that got rich in the 2000 market crash were the ones buying at the bottom. And he actually called this the bottom, the crypto market. He's like, get in. You can't own enough crypto at these prices. So, because when that market turns around, man, that's where the real wealth is made. And when most people buy a coin or a stock, I know what they're thinking. Think of yourself. You're looking at some charts and you're saying that coin's going to go up now. So then you jump in and buy. That's the complete opposite of what the auto trader does. The auto trader says, I don't care I don't care what it does because I'm going to win anyways. If it goes up, I'm going to make money, and if it goes down, I get to buy at a lower price. And then I freeze the market at that lower price. Because if you buy at a lower price, just remember this, the whole world is frozen now. Nobody can make money on that coin unless they do this with the coin. Yep, little move. Yep, 3% up. Now it's they got to pay you. You're the tax man. So anytime you buy, no matter where you buy it, remember the whole world is at the same price. Nobody's making money on that coin. So why would you think that selling all your coins at the bottom is the answer. Why would you do that when you got the whole market trapped? You got the whole world trapped at that low price. Hang on to that. Don't let that market move. Don't let anybody make money on that coin. Because what did we do in the 2000 market crash? We were getting margin calls because I didn't know any better at the time. We don't margin anymore. I put that in the very first trader in 2001. I actually gave people a little checkbox to allow them turn on 2-to-1 margin if they wanted it. Nobody was using it. And now I don't even put it in there. Nobody's allowed to do margin in my software. It makes no sense. Margining is going to kill you. That's where you lose all your money. So what happens in the 2000 market crash? We're selling, us amateurs are dumping all our coins on the way down. Who's loading up? The smart people, the rich. They're buying at the bottom. And then what happens when the market takes off? They get rich and leave us behind. That's not going to happen again in this crypto market, right? Don't let that happen to you. Okay, so that's all I put in for notes. I didn't have any criticisms for Attila this time around. And and a very important thing also is Coinbase and Kraken. Somebody said they got an email the other day that said that their account, here's the latest fiasco, if you will. They got an email from somebody they said it was Coinbase, and your account, because of the lack of activity in your Coinbase account, we're gonna shut down your account. I went and he emailed it to me, and I looked. I immediately went to his account because it's web based, and I took a look, and I'm like, "You're trading like crazy every day or every other day. There's no way that is real. That's a scam, you know." And and he was ready to call them, and I was so glad he called me. He emailed me first, you know. Because, don't fall for that baloney. Don't fall for fake emails. If you ever get a text message from someone that says that, someone is from Pakistan is trying to access your account, if it's not you, call this number. Don't call that number, please.
No.
I mean, because that's just a scammer. Coinbase would never send email like that to you. And
Right.
never, whatever you do, never click on any links in those emails. Even if it says Coinbase.com and you think you're going to just go to Coinbase, don't do it. You want to go to Coinbase, go to another browser window and go to Coinbase.com yourself. Don't click a link in the email. Okay, I'm just trying to help you because people lose their money that way. So let's jump into the trader. Is that okay? Can we jump in? And
Yeah.
I want to
Yep.
show people right away. I mean, when Attila says, set it and forget it, what that means is you don't need to go in there and start changing your strategy and all that because you're chasing the current snapshot of the market, what's happening in this instant in time. The software's looking months out. The software saying if I buy this coin at this price, I've trapped the market, and that means the market can never move again. Don't and don't and then if you go in there and start selling the coins that the auto trader is buying or buying more, you're using up money the software thought it had to use, and then the next trades that the software makes, it's going to be investing less money because you used up a lot of the money. Because another thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to trade in bigger lot sizes. It's natural, it's your DNA. You're going to want to buy $1,000 worth of a coin instead of $200 worth, or whatever the software is buying it in. You're going to say, well, I want more of my money invested. The software is doing the money management and the risk management. Sun Tzu's Art of War talks literally. I was amazed when I read it just yesterday. Even it said they mentioned on one of these tactics. It said money management and risk management. I was amazed because I've been saying that for months, years even. This mastering in the trading zone. They said the same phrase: money management and risk management. And that's exactly what the GoBabyTrade software does. It does money management and risk management. It protects you literally for life. As long as that coin stays in business, they have to keep pumping you money. Free money for life, I call it. So the auto trader is, once you turn it on, it'll ask you for a couple symbols, 2 or 3 symbols, And you can put in a few symbols that you know that you like if you want. There's also a button there that says, show me the default symbols. It's going to pick three symbols, three top moving coins that at least 40% of all GoBaby traders are trading these coins, the same coins. So that means, I mean, that's a lot of people trading those coins. Why? Because they move a lot. And that's what the auto trader likes, high volatility. Everybody's waiting for coins to go straight up. The auto trader says, I don't care if it goes up there. I can sit here and trade it down here forever, right here. Stay right here at the bottom, folks. I don't care. You're going to keep pumping me for money forever. I mean, that's gold, man. I love it.
Hey, just sorry to interrupt you. Casey's computer just melted down,
Oh,
so she's
no.
scrambling, and that's why she dropped off. Well, it just kicked her, booted her out. So she's trying to reboot another computer, and she'll pop back on. Um,
Well, if she's leaving, I'm leaving, then, we'll come back. We can do this again another
I
time.
think her cat hit a button.
Her cat hit a button. No, she just had her computer fixed, and it's not charging, and it just died. So she'll be
Man,
back on shortly.
Okay, so the auto trader, I hope she makes it
She
back.
will.
The auto trader is designed to, as soon as you turn it on, you put in your symbols and it starts immediately in paper trade mode. For those of you who don't know what paper trade means, is it's not using real money initially when you first, as soon as you turn it on, it's going to start buying those three coins. If you selected the default three coins. Most of us do. We all trade those same, most of us trade those same coins. Um, but then that's what paper trade is. And then when you're ready, and some people are ready right away, you can connect it to your Coinbase or your Kraken account. And then it'll start trading live. The auto trader never touches your money. It never touches your coins. They're all in Coinbase or Kraken. The auto trader can only see your account, your Coinbase or Kraken account, and it can send orders to it. It sends buy orders and sell orders to Coinbase or Kraken. The orders are filled inside Coinbase or Kraken. GoBabyTrade does not have transferability. I couldn't take your money out if I wanted to. I can't transfer anything out of your account. It's all in Coinbase and Kraken, very secure. We even show you how to secure the account to stop others from transferring things out of your account. So that's for security. So GoBabyTrade really is like an external tool talking to Coinbase and Kraken. But it's keeping track of all the trades. It knows what it paid for everything. So that anytime it sells, it's always selling profitably. It never sells at a loss. So let me share my screen real fast.
You shared it. Lead in with your walking in front of a teaching AI and walking in front of a whiteboard.
All
I
right.
like part of that story.
I know, I love that story. And it's true. This is the one, right, with the bucket in the well?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I was teaching an AI class, right? Somebody called me up and they were already running the auto trader, so they knew what it was. And they said, "Would you teach a class? Would you teach us a class to 80 people, 80 developers?" And it was in North Carolina, Raleigh, and I'm in Las Vegas. And I said, "Yeah, I'll teach the class." And they said, then they wanted to go into how much they'll pay me. And I'm like, "Stop. I don't need to be paid anything. I'll fly. I don't want anything. I'll fly down there for free. I mean, I love doing what I'm doing." And I said, so I flew down there, flew to Raleigh, and I'm teaching this class on AI, how to program an AI trader. And and I saw a whiteboard, so of course I'm a magnet to anytime anybody sees a whiteboard, you got to go right on it, right? So I drew a picture of a bucket and a well. And I asked the whole room of 80 programmers. There was 79 men and one woman, if I recall. I remember the woman because she was the only one asking most of the questions. I was amazed. The rest of these guys were just sitting there with their laptops in front of them. So I drew a bucket and a well, and I asked the whole room. I said, if the bucket has to go all the way down to the bottom to get the water and then go all the way back up and dump it out, how much water can it pump in a lifetime? I said, it can't go halfway down and go back up. The bucket will be empty. It has to go to the bottom and it has to go to the top to dump it out. So then they threw out the basic questions. How big is the bucket and how much water is in a water basin? That kind of stuff. So we got through all that. I said, there's ample water and the bucket's amply big. All right. But it's going to pump forever. So then they started throwing out numbers. 1,000,000 gallons, 1,000,000,000 gallons. And I'm looking around the room at the 80 developers. Nobody had any objections to those answers. I said, okay. Well, then I said, well, what if it was actually, I was doing stocks. Cryptos are much better. They move a lot more. But I said, what if it's the stock market? What if it only has to go down a little and go up a little and you pump money? Buy it, sell it on 3% moves up and down. Just simple moves. Buy, sell. And it keeps pumping money. What if it does that for the rest of your life? As long as that coin or stock or coin, either way, stays in business, they got to keep pumping you money forever, for the rest of your life. How much money can it pump? So, and I told him, this isn't a trick question. It's a simple question. How much money can that pump in a lifetime? And any time you get a big jump, the ones that you were holding behind because it went lower, as soon as it jumps like that, you just sold all that off too. All at once. Nobody wanted to answer the question. Finally, one guy said, there's no way that could be real. Isn't that great? I just crack up every time I think about it. Because there's no reason in the world that it can't be real. If you don't see that as real, then you really need to, I don't know, therapy or something. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not a therapist, though. Because it always amazes me that everybody doesn't see that the market is literally throwing money at you almost every day of your life. And you think you have to gamble. I'm like, why are you gambling? You don't have to gamble. The market's throwing money at you. And bigger than that, you can't take what the market doesn't want to give you anyways. Anytime you buy a coin, unless the price goes higher, you can't sell it at a profit. So you're only taking what the market's willing to give you anyways. So why not do it with proper money management? Money management means you have a big bucket of money or a wallet of money and it divides it up and it says, I want to be able to trade that coin even if it drops 99%. I want to still be trading down here. That's called money management. There's no way to lose unless the coin literally goes out of business. As long as they stay in business, you could trade them forever. And I used to say all the way back in 2010, I used to present to audiences all over the country. And I would stand in front of an audience and I'd say, anybody think Bank of America is going to go out of business? They're $10 a share. Do you think they're going to go out of business anytime soon? Like in your lifetime even? Everybody says, no, I don't think they're going to go out of business. Then I'm like, then trade the heck out of it, man. It's free money. As long as they stay in business and they're only $10 a share, what do you have to lose? The worst thing you do is go down $10. Fine, if you're going to do that. And I used to say the same thing about Microsoft. I'm like, do you think Microsoft's going to go out of business? What are they going to do? Take a few $1,000 from me? To go out of business? Go ahead. I dare you, Microsoft. I dare you to go out of business to steal a few $1,000 from me. And they never did. They went from $30 to $500 a share. Silver, SLV. I've got people that still trade silver in their stock traders. As a matter of fact, that's all they trade. One symbol in their automated stock trader. SLV. That's all they trade. And that coin has gone down to $11 and all the way to $33 for years. Mostly it only went to 33 once, and then it went to 29 once too. But mostly it hung around between 11 and and 21. It would just go up and down, keep pumping all that free money. The people trading SLV were already rolling their money over, doubling it and doubling it and doubling it over and over before it ever ran to $100 a share that it did last year. I mean, we didn't need it to go to $100 a share. I didn't even care. So it went to 100 and they bought and sold the whole way up. And then even though it came back down to 75, they're buying and selling all the way up and buying and selling all the way down. Beautiful. Free money, I'm telling you. The market, what do I call the market, Attila?
Insult to humanity.
I think I say it better. The market is an insult to humanity. Doesn't that sound better? You gotta give it some punch
All
because
right.
it really is an insult to humanity. Everybody out there thinks that the market is gambling. BlackRock knows it's not gambling. Fidelity knows it's not gambling. Vanguard knows it's not gambling. They are loading up like crazy all the way from the top to the bottom. And they know, watch when this clarity bill gets signed by the Senate. And we all know when they're going to sign that bill. They're delaying. They keep taking their time. They're waiting for all the senators to get in, to get all the crypto at the bottom to load up. And this is a time when, now the buy and holders, let's talk about buy and holders. They go in with all their money up here. And then when the coin goes down, they're not buying more, so they're missing the wiggle. It doesn't mean anything to them. It doesn't mean anything to a buy and holder because they bought it all up here and they used up all their money. The coin can be down here trading. They're missing thousands of trades, literally tens of thousands of trades. All this free money they're throwing away. They did, when you buy and hold, you are the equivalent of someone that you open up a 7-Eleven or a Quick Mart, a store, you loaded up all the shelves, you filled them all up, you said, all right, I'm ready for business, and then you lock the door and don't let anybody in. We all know commerce. Again, I didn't invent commerce. There should be a section in his Sun Tzu's Art of War that says, commerce has been around for 5,000 years. Commerce has always been there. You buy something at one price and you sell it at a higher price. That's all you're doing is commerce. And in commerce, you don't lock the doors. You open the door and you turn inventory. Turning inventory is how all business is done. Every business, whatever business, whoever's on this, watching this presentation, you guys stop and think about yourself. What is your business? You're doing commerce. If you're doing, I don't know, if you're putting roofs on, you're buying roofing material and you're either selling that at a higher price or you're selling your labor to put the roof on. You're always selling at a higher price than what it costs you. That's what business is. If the AC guy comes out to the house, the air conditioning guy, he's gonna charge you for something, and that's the way it works. If he's selling you a part, then I've got a AAA. My battery went out on my Range Rover last year. The guy came out, sold me a battery. I knew the price was a little bit high, but I really didn't care. But I know they're gonna buy that battery or produce that battery at one price and sell it to me at a higher price. That's called commerce. And that's all the market is commerce. It's buy it at one price and sell it at a higher price and do proper money management so that you're always selling it at a higher price so that you're always profitable. So if you understand this, then that's what the auto trader is. I don't even need to show you the actual trader. Do I really need to show them the trader?
Yes, you do, because it's amazing.
All right. Because now your trader is a website. The actual robotic trader is running on my servers. I've got a big cage at a co-location center with all these racks full of servers. All of the auto traders are running on my servers. Attila was talking about the old system from 2012. That system, you downloaded the software onto your computer. And then back then, most people still had dial-up modems, so it took a long time to download it because it's a very big program. Plus, when you added the AI to it, the program that's a separate program from the actual trader, when you put that in there also, people couldn't even check their email while the program was running because it was just sucking up all the resources on that computer. But I moved it all to our servers so you don't have to download anything. Now you just go to a website and log in, and you can see how your trader is doing. Okay, I'm going to give you a quick rundown of what this is. On the left side here is just a summary showing you live trading. There's videos on every page so you can see what this page is doing. If I click on this, this has 3 videos inside of it. You know, it's got the account values, which I talk about on the blue side on the left. And then if I go further down, it's got the portfolio where it talks about the top part. And if I go further down, it's got the filled orders, which is the bottom part down here. It shows you all your filled orders, every order. Oh, look, I didn't even know. See, I don't even look at my trader every day, but I can see now. Let me get to the bottom of this. How do I close this?
You actually have to close that screen that you opened, your video.
Yeah, well, that would be nice if I could figure that out. I don't usually open it all the way. Come on. I just close it. It's all right. 1 second. I'm going to go back to the main screen. Open link in new tab there. So you have your videos on the left. I mean your summary on the left. Here's your account value. You don't see the server that it's running on. Only I see that. It's for debug purposes. Today's profit. And it looks like, because I don't really look at my trader unless I'm doing a webinar, it looks like I took, at 8:54 in the morning, it took $247 on a close on ACH. Well, that's nice. You know, it's always nice to make free money. You'll get bored with it because it's just almost every day you're just taking free money. It's just pumping free money like almost every day down here. You can see it. Oh, look, they're on 215. That was $1,000 on 214, 500, and another 454 and another 453, all on that same day, 214. You know, and it's just constantly. It's just a 7-Eleven. You stock the shelves and then you sell it off. It's not rocket science. All right, but anyways, on the left here, you're gonna it shows you today's profits taken, your 30-day, the last trailing 30 days, it's taken a couple thousand. It's pretty slow 30 days. Sometimes, I mean, I've had $30,000 months. That's up to the market again. It's not up to me to decide whether we're going to have an up day or a down day or what. And the total profits taken since I started it in February 7th of 2023. I have my profit management set to save my profits, and I turn that off sometimes, and sometimes I use up the money that's in the save bucket. But save means the profits coming in are going to the save bucket. They're not going to the auto trader to let the auto trader use it. So that means I can live off the money that's in my save bucket. And what's cool about this, I'm going to click on manage profits. There's a few features built in here. Manage incoming profits. In this case, what I'm saying is, as the profits are coming in, I've told it, put 100% of the profits into GRT. I really think GRT is in play. It's a fantastic company. It's some people love Bitcoin or XRP. But I'm telling the auto trader 100% of my profits from all the sales from any coin, I want it to go to Shiba Inu. So
No, GRT.
I mean, no, to GRT, excuse me.
Right.
So 100%.
Can you expand a little bit when you say save bucket? Can you explain to the viewers what that means? There's not actually another physical bucket.
No, it's not a physical bucket. It's just a number, just a physical number. It's telling the auto trader, I've got this much money in my that's saved that I don't want the auto trader to use. So when it goes to Coinbase and it says how much cash, how much USDC do I have? it subtracts out the amount from my save bucket, that save number, so that it can get to the amount of money that the software can actually use.
Right. So
So
it essentially the profit resides, all of the profits and all the money
it's all
resides
in Coinbase.
in Coinbase, right? And it just makes whatever that save bucket number is, whatever the dollar amount is,
The
it makes
software
that
knows
part
not to use it.
right. It makes that essentially invisible to the trader.
Right. And if I went here to my select currency screen where the symbols are, where all your symbols are, it's saying my profits saved is in my save bucket is 7,913. And that GRT, I just changed it to GRT. It was saving. You see the distributed amount? It was saving to all the different coins. I had a different setting in there. I was saying put 25% in each coin of the profits. Um, and then also put an extra 25% in the coin that actually made the trade. But I recently just changed it to put 100% into GRT. So that's distributed funds. That's that extra money. This is the initial money that the software had, the principal that it had to start with. This is the money it's telling it, take the profits and save it. This is a new feature, so that's why these numbers aren't very big here. Because I only turned this on like a week ago. This new feature. It's a cool feature.
Yeah.
Um, so that's what this is. So this is managing incoming profits as they're coming in. And you don't have to do anything there. By default, it just says save 100%. Save profits 100%. Down here is set to 100%. And these are all zeros. So you
Excuse me,
don't
and you said you
redirect it
don't,
to anything.
you just said you don't have to do anything there.
Yeah.
Let me just tell people, folks, you don't have to do anything anywhere.
Yeah,
Only,
yeah, you
only,
don't have to do anything anywhere, right? And then after it's already distributed, like there's $635 that has been distributed, I can actually change these numbers if I want. I could say take $100 away from ACH and add it to GRT
Mhm.
and hit save. So now GRT has $273. And if I go back over here, see that 173, let me refresh the screen. Come on, baby, you can do it. I'm waiting. In any case, all right, there you go. So there's the 273 now. So it shows what I changed on the other screen changed over here. So, and I can stop if I want to take this ACH, this 145, and distribute it to all these other coins. Just stop trading it. Just release it. See that release all? I can just click release, click on that, and that just released it. If you'll notice, see this number 57332? If I uncheck that, it went to 57218. It went lower because it took the $145 that was here and it distributed it to these other coins. Like this one down here is 508. If I close that one, it went to 530 because it took the 145 and divvied it up to these other four. Anyways, this is all second nature stuff. You'll know it like the back of your hand. Seriously, it's so simple.
Or you can just connect it and forget it.
Or
Because
just turn it
because
on and don't even worry about it. You're not going to even mess with the distributed funds.
yeah.
Some people, though, like Crypto Casey, she says she wants all of her coins to make money on the trading, but she said it wasn't GRT for her, it was Bitcoin. And she said she wants Bitcoin to get all the profits that are being made and let all the profits go into Bitcoin. And she doesn't sell Bitcoin, she just lets it trade. Like you can dollar cost average in any coin. Let's like if I want to add Bitcoin to the bottom of this list, BTC, right? Now and I'm going to tell it I want it to add to decliners, add when it's going down, but also add when it's going up. but don't allow it to sell. But it still has no money to trade with, right? I can go up here and click spread funds equally. It'll take money from all these coins and divide it up and give this next coin money to trade with. But in this case, it's saying dollar cost average into Bitcoin, but don't let it sell. So as it's wiggling around, it's buying and selling. I mean, it's buying but not selling, and then any extra money that it's getting, she's got it directing it all to Bitcoin, all that extra money. So it's kind of cool, the stuff you can do. So that's the left-hand side. Bitcoin is at the bottom here. It's just kind of like an index. I'm not trading it, but it's right here. It always shows you what it's doing down here on the lower left. And then I look at the top, and I've got the symbols. Today's move. This is an important column. This is one of the first things I look at besides am I making money. I look down here and see, did I make money today? And there's today, $247. I can see that also over here on the top left. But then I also look up here and see what kind of a day are we having. You know, it shows ACH, and that's the one I closed today because it was profitable. These other ones aren't even moving. So don't worry about it. If Dogecoin isn't moving, then it's not moving. Then there's no money to be made. I don't need to freak out over that. If the price isn't moving, then it's not moving. I'm not going to run in there and start selling all my coins at a loss for no reason, just because the coin price isn't moving today. You know, and you can see what each coin's doing. You can just show, you know, what kind of a day are we having? Are they going up? Are they going down? Are they not, or are they not even doing anything? The only one that moved today was ACH, Alchemy Pay. They're like Apple Pay worldwide. And I can see the current price of the coin. This coin has a lot of trouble, ACH, going below 60 right here. 0.0065. It has, anytime it goes below 60, it just bounces right back. Same thing with GRT. Has a lot of trouble going below 2.5 cents. If it goes to 0.024, watch it bounce right back. Because they're at the bottom already, and they're just bouncing off the bottom, and they can't they're not going to go lower. There's no crypto market without the graph, without GRT. They do blockchain software. I mean, 700,000 companies, or 70,000, excuse me, 70,000 companies use the software from GRT. I doubt they're going out of business. I think they're rock bottom, that price, and it's ready to bounce, and we are gonna make so much money, man, when this crypto market comes back. And they can't scare us out because we're software. I have no overhead. BlackRock's the one sitting on $100 billion worth of crypto. They're the ones that got to make these prices move because they're in trouble if they don't, because they got all that overhead. I have no overhead. My software can wait forever until they push these coins up. And when they do, they're going to pay me. I am not going to bail out like I did in that 2000 market crash where they hammered me at the bottom and then the coins rocketed to new highs. Same thing they did in the 2008 market crash with the bank stocks. They pushed them down to $1. All the amateurs got out, and then they rocketed those bank stocks to $50 a share. They're not going to make fools of us this time around. We were ready for this. I was ready for them this time, big time.
Ed, what if somebody, one of the more common questions is, what's the performance? How do I know if this thing works? You know, some of the things we talked about up front is
working
it real?
for
Does it
25
work?
years.
Right. Well,
how do you know it works? You can just sit here and just scroll. How does it? This is a 7-Eleven. Just like a 7-Eleven, they put product on the shelf and they sell it. See these blank on the right here, that means they filled the shelf. They're buying. If you look on the left, they're opens. The ones with numbers are closes. Okay? You can just sit here and watch what it's been doing. It buys and it sells. It buys and it sells. And you have crazy down days and you have crazy up days where you're just selling everything off. You know, and look at this. This is all free money. I mean, this is doing this without me doing anything. I mean, you could be sleeping.
Yep. You
I
have
mean, it
a
doesn't matter. You could even die, and your auto trader is going to keep running on the servers.
you have a
Like,
we have a report the of the top 50 traders of people. There's two common questions. Will it work for me? And how much money do I need to start? And
it'll work for
you've got the
everybody.
answer to that.
Sure, you can go if you want to talk about that. We can go to the website. Just go to GoBabyTrade. I put gobabytrade.com/crypto Casey up here on the left, and then it shows the crypto Casey special. So it lowers the regular 3-year license from $44.99 by 1,000 to $34.99. And then you can click on top traders. Here it is.
Yeah, while you're talking about that, I'm going to post her special discount link in the chat. Just did,
Okay.
so that anybody can click on that and follow along with what you're seeing on the screen.
Okay. And it's just showing you now this shows the starting balance 1 year ago. So you don't need a lot of money. I mean, this guy's trading with $1,000. But what did he make? He actually took almost 2,000 off the table. That's a 191% return. Warren
Needlessly,
Buffett would love me. Tell me Warren Buffett wouldn't love me. This is full automation. If anybody on here does a manual trade, they get knocked right off the screen. They won't even show in this report. If you're doing anything manual, you're gone because the auto trader, this is a report showing full automation. Plus, I got rid of the real big accounts that like $1.5 million accounts. There's one guy in here with $1 million account showing that 1,089,000. And even he did a 79% return. Wouldn't you like to have 1 million and almost double it in a year? Who out there with $1 million sitting under their bed right now could throw it in there and watch it double?
pick me.
Yeah, where are you gonna put money? Where are you gonna put that? Put it in a bank and get nothing?
Yep.
I mean, it's an insult to humanity that you would even put money in a bank. I don't understand that
And
concept
you
at
can
all.
click on the yellow button and actually see what each one of
You
these are
can see
trading.
the coins that he's trading, right?
Yep.
ACH, Doge, GRT, and Sheep. Actually, the same 4 coins I've been trading for the last 5 years.
Yeah, folks, if you click on the link that I just posted, not only is it the discount link, but it allows access to this report, and it's a live report. So when I talked at the beginning about doing some of your own research and answering some of your own questions that you may or may not get answered here, you have the ability to look at all of these reports.
But all the default settings are already in your trader. You don't have to change anything. Just put in the symbols and you're done. You are done. Put in the symbols, connect it to with the API connection to Coinbase or Kraken, and watch that thing
Very
trade.
simple.
Yeah, and
100%
anybody that thinks
transparency.
that's complicated, it's super not complicated.
And we're here to
But
help anyway.
well, yeah, I was just you took the words out of my mouth. We're gonna post here, and I'll post in just a second, two support emails where you can send us a note and say, hey, this looks really cool. I have a few more questions. I may be interested in buying it. Can I set up a 15-minute discovery call? And the
This
answer is
is a
yes.
discovery call right now. Ask your
Right,
questions. Feel
right.
free. Because that way your questions get answered in front of everybody. We're not bashful about it. Now, how do people know which coins to trade? All right. If you can select the default coins that come up as soon as you sign up, it's going to say enter your symbols, and there's going to be a button there that says if you don't know what coins, here's 3 suggested coins. Okay, you just click that button, 3 coins pop up, and you're done. Now, but you can go to the highest trade count report, and that's actually in your menu also. If I go to the menu, everything's in this right menu inside your trader. All these screens I've been bringing up, they're all in your trader. And you can go down to the highest trade counts report. I already brought it up right here. What's nice about this is it's just like and I'm going to mention a 7-Eleven again. If you were to open up a 7-Eleven right now, you're not going to sit down and talk to 1,000 different distributors, one distributor for each product, for each thing on your shelf. You're going to talk to a major distributor that distributes all of it. And what they're going to do is they're going to give you a report similar to this. I actually saw the report. Someone emailed it to me because he heard me talking about this and he said, wow, Here's the actual report, Ed. And it shows you the top moving items, like your Monster drinks, your vapes, your Cokes, your sodas, your coffee, your candy bars, your potato chips. And on this report, it says, here's how many trades each one did over the last year, over the last 12 months. This is a 3% on 3% moves. Up here it says 3% moves. 1,626 trades, 1,603 trades. And you can actually click over here where it says percent of traders. It shows you what percent of GoBabyTrade traders are trading that coin. Click on it. Crypto Casey's back.
Yes. I've been having some. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you and
Yes.
see you fine.
All right. I'm borrowing a friend's iPad from down the street, so I've never done it on an
Oh, well, we didn't. I'm so
You
sorry
running
that
down the street.
so
I need a
sorry that
computer.
you sorry that we made you panic and run down and knock on all your door on the neighbors' doors to go. Ah!
No, it's okay.
It's
But
amazing.
that shows your dedication. Another reason
I
why we love
appreciate that, really.
Yeah, for sure.
But your percent of traders, you can click on that and it shows you what percent of GoBabyTrade traders are actually in each of these coins. So why do you think people are trading all these top coins? SUI, ACH, Bonk, XCN, Pepe. It's there's because all of us are, and they're good moving coins. Even though the top moving coin had 1,600 trades last year, these are still fantastic numbers. 937. And when I say trades, I mean profitable trades. Closed profitable trades. After broker fees, even. 937 trades, 866, 1,231, 1,433. This is amazing. Now,
Also, Ed,
want
I wanted
yes?
to let you know, so whenever you were, I don't know if you've shown them the dashboard, but whenever I was going through the video that I posted today, can you go to the dashboard real quick? Because I don't really have a screen or anything in front of me
Yep.
now. I'm just, all right.
I have it memorized.
Yeah. So you know how you say that the trader never sells at a loss?
Yes.
So in the profit and loss column, I think you should just have it as profit, unless that's misleading. What do you think?
Well, this is the profit.
Yeah, I know, but it says slash
But
loss.
there's no
under.
right. There's no loss.
So it's like if it's never a loss, I don't know.
All right.
We're
All right.
always just trying to make the dashboard more clear, I guess.
Okay, here we go. We suggested that a long time ago to Mr.
Yeah,
Barsano, but
but
now,
Oh, really? Well, here we are.
now,
We might
now
get it
that
done.
it's coming from Crypto Casey, look, he's writing it down. It'll be changed
Yeah.
in about 36 minutes.
We spoke to you about that over a year ago.
Oh,
And
really?
I
That's
wrote
funny.
Casey's name next to it, so I
Okay.
know that
So now we're assured it gets
that
done.
we're actually going to do that one.
Yeah, true. Josette has a. Oh, I like the iPad. I can see the comments now. Some people close themselves at a loss, so maybe I don't know. We don't want to get it complicated, but
Oh yeah, right. Well, that is true. Some people do. The other day I felt so bad. Somebody closed all of his XCN at a loss.
Oh,
He said, "Well, it
why?
wasn't moving," and I'm like, "No."
What?
He had a beautifully well-seasoned auto trader, all that beautiful inventory. See these 25 lots? That's bought 25 times from the top. Now, while it was wiggling, you were taking profits the whole time, but it accumulated 25 times. I call that a well-seasoned auto trader.
You mean it accumulated at the bottom, or did you mean the top?
Well, it accumulated while it was going, starting from the top. And on 3% drops, it was adding more. And it did that 25 times. So we had 25 lots. I call each one of those one lot. So that means, just like the bucket and the well, if the coin jumps a little, like 10% up, and you're selling on 3% drops, 3 of these will go away and sell profitably, the 3 on the bottom. And then, and then say it goes down 3% more, it'll add that one back. So you're always buying and selling, but then if it continues going down another 3%, then they'll add another one. And if it goes back up, it'll start closing these off. Like if I go to the coin market cap and look at layer 3, this coin here, it jumped 250% on 4-4. Where's 4-4? I think it was.
And that, by the way, is a terrible chart for buying and holding. but it's making you money with something like this.
Oh man, it's
If
killer.
you buy
Yeah,
and hold
yeah.
that, you're
If
toast.
you're a buy and holder, you bought it up here and the coin price is down here and it's doing all these crazy wiggles, but you're not making any money. I feel like buy and hold is just dead outright. That's a 250% move in one day. That means any inventory that you owned below that price just sold off profitably. Even when it goes down here and you're bought down here and it goes up there, you just sold all this off. Anything down here. Anything down here, you sold off up here. You're just always turning inventory. And this is what I like about the crypto market is stocks prices move like this. They kind of go a quarter up, quarter down. They wiggle around. But cryptos jump around. And that's gold to an auto trader because, man, any inventory here that you still had that you didn't already sell on the wiggles, when it popped right there, it just sold it off. Anything that's profitable sold off. And then it goes down here, and people call me and say, Ed, do you think I should stop my auto trader from buying? Because you can click the button and say allow sell, uncheck it. And he said because it's so low, and I'm like, no. The biggest money you're gonna make is from the stuff you bought at the bottom. Even Larry Flint said that, or Larry Fink, the
You're thinking
CEO
of
of
the movie.
blockchain
You're
of
thinking of.
BlackRock.
You're
Excuse me.
think. You're thinking of the movie from years ago, In Like Flint.
Yeah, no, I wasn't thinking of him. I wasn't thinking of that movie.
Well, two comments, Ed. If you're a buy and
But look
holder,
at these beautiful moves.
if you're a buy and holder and looking at this chart, this is cardiac arrest. If you're a GoBabyTrade trader user, then this is
Free money.
all profit.
Because look at every one of these bottoms is a buy and every one of these tops is a sell. I mean, when it jumps like that, it's like, and the beauty is it only goes up there for a minute or two and it comes back down. It pops up there. The auto trader sells off its inventory, whatever it owned below that price, and then it jumps back down and we buy it back. And we're just buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. It's like you have a 7-Eleven in a very popular area.
Hmm.
I was in an AI class in 1989. That's where I first learned AI. Microsoft sent me to it was either Maryland or Maine. I don't remember which one. But I was in a class with McDonald's, and they were using AI to look at traffic patterns to figure out where's the best place to put a McDonald's.
And now they're on every corner.
Well, yeah, well, no, they still do research. Now, Burger King puts it right across the street from McDonald's. So they don't have to do any research at all. That was their joke back then. They
Well,
said
actually,
Burger
in
King just builds it next to us.
in business
But I
school, we
look at this
learned.
and I'm in
Yeah.
heaven. Pardon me?
Oh, and when in business school, we learned that McDonald's is not a fast food restaurant, and it's actually a property. It's a real estate company. And what they do is they buy all the real estate and they own the land, and then they have the what's called whenever you let somebody else a
Franchise.
franchise. Yeah,
Oh.
then they just franchise out. So they just own all of the hard asset, and then unless you own 10 or more, you're kind of not profitable. But they just let everybody else run their business for them. It's crazy.
Yeah, brilliant. What was his name?
Ray Kroc.
Kroc.
Yeah, and the founder, that movie's about him. He was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was an interesting movie. Yeah, fun to watch.
Yeah, that was a
I
good
want to
one.
watch that movie Neanderthal. There's some movie out there on Netflix that's called Neanderthal, and I think they had commerce back then. I want to see.
They did.
Anyways, this is gold to an auto trader. Just this constant free money. It's literally free money. But which one were we talking about? Over here. The top movers.
No, not the top movers. This is the
Oh,
this
Top
oh
is
yeah,
traders.
this is the
top
this is the
traders.
top traders. And you can start with anything, 1,000. Once you get it, I can tell you how you're going to behave because I see how other people behave. Once they see how the auto trader works, they may start with a small amount, but pretty soon they're going crazy finding money to put in. They're mortgaging their houses, and I even put a video on the website that said don't mortgage your house. Because people were literally calling me up saying, "All right, Ed, my loan is almost through," and I'm like, "Oh God, don't mortgage your house. That just feels weird." But they're but the point is they're mortgaging their house to get more money to put in their trader. They're selling their rental properties. They're taking the buyout. Did you know Microsoft just announced they're looking to buy out the senior people in Microsoft? You know
Oh,
that
I haven't seen that.
early
Is like
buyout.
AI taking over some of the jobs and stuff, or what?
Maybe, yeah, and they're doing they always do a lot of layoffs. So that place was I was always at the top of the echelon, though. I was always pushing the envelope, man. You'd be crying a lot, you'd be punching walls and all, but you didn't walk away from
Oh,
a couple
I don't
million
think I've ever
dollars a
asked you this.
year.
I never asked you this. Did you decide to leave because you just
Oh
made your
yeah,
money, or
I had millions of dollars. I was done. I
yeah?
asked the question. The question, we were always staggering around the halls, asking each other, "So when do you jump off this fast-moving train? How much do you need?" And there's no book. There's nowhere to learn. It's like to figure it out. We're like,
Yeah.
when do I leave? They're gonna give me another $2 million if I hang around here another year. But I hate it.
So was
I
there
mean,
like a breaking point, or did you just have a D-Day in mind?
no, I'll tell you, there was three things for me. One was, do I have enough money? Absolutely. I have so many millions. I'm done with this planet. But, but the next thing is, are you having fun? And then because you're basically working really for nothing. Giving me a little bit more, and when you've already given me this much and telling me you're going to give me this much more, forget it. I mean, I don't need to hang around. I already got this much. And they were stock options. That means so if they're giving me a little bit and that has to double for it to be worth to double. But if that doubles, this whole thing's gonna double because I already got this much. And
Yeah.
these are 10-year stock options. So it's like so I'm not work so that means I'm really not working for money anymore. And then the third thing was retire before 40. It just had a nice ring to it.
How
So
did
I
that
said I'm
work out?
done. 2 months before I turned 40, I said I'm done.
Nice.
And I had a real big win right at the end. I just did the Windows NT launch, which was really big, the Windows NT. And I did the whole launch in-house, which nobody ever did a launch in-house. See, I'm always pushing the envelope. And so I did the whole launch in-house, which means I wanted all the duplication of the disks done in-house. I wanted all the drop shipments all around the world managed in-house. I wasn't going to use those outsourced people. Made everybody mad out there. Here's a
No, a lot of
software
people make money
developer
from the stealing the software and reselling it. Right.
who was doing that.
Well, I know, well, not
Oh,
personally, but
some
I've
people
heard people
probably
were like
were.
pre-loading software copy or
Oh, the OEM
copies.
disk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to tell anybody. I load, I, I still have those discs. But, but anyways, even though I'm not in the company anymore, after I left, I heard, because I still talk to people there, they announced they want all launches done in-house, the
After
way
you
I
did
did
it.
the Windows NT launch. So even though I'm not even there, I'm still still
That's cool.
telling everybody how to do it. Anyways, so so once you get an auto trader, your natural instinct is going to be, where can I find money to put in this? It's the ultimate bank account. Picture a bank. When you put money in a bank, in your mind, you're saving your money. You're putting it in a bank to save your money. But in reality, what you're doing is loaning money to the bank. Now, if you get a credit card and they loan money to you, don't they charge you 30% for that money? How come you're loaning your money to the bank for free? It's crazy. You can literally put your money in your auto trader and watch it grow like crazy. And, I found this dollar bill. Some of you have already seen this. I found this dollar bill a couple months ago on the ground. I still got it. I think it's cool. And I was so excited about this dollar that I found on the ground. right? I put it in my wallet like a good luck dollar. But even, and that dollar means more to me than this $247 that I took today in profits in my auto trader. I don't know why. I think about the dollar more. The $247 that I made today in the auto trader, well, that was like free money. I didn't even look.
You
Well,
didn't
let
have
me
to bend
tell.
down. You didn't have to bend down and pick it up. I think.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you why you like it why you like it more. Because the dollar that you're holding is really you're holding about 3 cents in purchasing power, where everything that you're making in the trader is being reinvested and reinvested in an asset-based system, not a
Oh
debt-based
yeah,
system.
turning over.
Right.
Because the more money it has, the more money it makes. And that's the thing. 100% of $1 million is different than 100% of $1,000. The guy with $1 million account does not have a better strategy than the guy with $1,000 account. He's not going to get more trades. He's just putting more into the trade. The software has more money to work with. So the
And we'll
more you
touch on we'll
put
touch
in,
on the story and promise that I made up front, which we will show you and fulfill that promise is that over time the larger your account gets because it simply cranks out money while you're living a more quality life will literally get you to wherever you want to be financially.
it changes your life. Your DNA will change. You don't know it yet, but I've been doing this 25 years. Plus I talk to a lot of people. Everybody probably everyone, most people on here, if you already have an account, you probably already talked to me. Um, and we talk about everything, and the Iran war. You name it, we talk about it. Vaccines, the border, we talk about all kinds of stuff. Somebody sent me an email the other day and he said, What's that toenail fungus medicine your doctor gave you, a year ago, Because we were talking about that. And you know what? I went
What?
online, I logged into my Archwell Medical full page website, and there it was. And I emailed it to him. Here's the stuff. Tell your doctor. I talked to doctors for 25 years, and they never tell me. And I finally get a doctor that says, "Oh yeah, take this." Clears it up, and it's like, really, what were those other doctors doing for 25, the last 25 years?
And I
None of
think you
them
have too much
had a
time on your
clue.
hands. We need more features.
You have way too much time on your hands. I don't even know where we took the right-hand turn off the cliff and
Yeah,
started
me
talking
neither.
about toe fungus.
All right,
I
let's
thought it was
talk.
like the latest
I'm
meme
just
coin,
saying
toe
we talk
fungus.
about a lot of stuff, but you know what? That's a point. There's a good point to be made there. See, I had a point.
And we're
Actually, I
trying to
didn't.
follow.
I didn't have a point, but I'm making one now because I learn from everybody using the auto traders. I get feedback, so I know what works. Over 25 years, I learned what works and what doesn't work.
Well, let
Let's
me
get rid of the stuff that doesn't work and let's focus on what does work. And once I did that, I realized that's when the software automatically did all this by itself. It actually turned into a money machine. It didn't start out as a money machine. In 2001, the version of the software that I released had 10 screens of things you could change. It was actually putting control in your hands. It was making you have to figure it all out. And that's what these bots that are coming out nowadays do. They give you these screens where they give you all these screens and settings and they expect you to figure out how to create a strategy. And they expect you to know how to make money. You don't know how because if you're going by any of the stuff you learned on the internet or in trading classes taught by people who don't even trade, that aren't even in the market, that are pretending like they're in the market, and they're teaching all the wrong stuff. Take stop loss. Those of you who know what a stop loss is, if I change the name of stop loss to lock in loss, would you even use it? Would you use a feature called lock in loss?
They
I'm
want the
gonna lock
trading
that
fees though.
loss
They want the trading fees.
let me remind everybody real quick that if you have questions On the Zoom menu, there is something that says more. When you click on that, that's where the Q&A button is to type your questions in. So we're going to get to that pretty soon. So be prepared. And
Yep.
if you
Stop
want,
losses.
you
All
can
right.
also,
I'm sorry, Attila, did I cut you off?
yeah, you did. That's okay. You could also raise your hand if you have a question. You could just, there's a place to raise hand if you want to actually have us unmute you and ask your question directly to Crypto Casey or Ed Barsano or Edward and I. Go ahead, Ed.
All right. I've been cutting you off for a long time.
Don't do
I'm
it
sorry.
again. Don't do it
For
again.
years. Don't do it again.
Ed, what was the name of that toe fungus stuff?
It's not iodine, I don't think. Did you say iodine in your thing? I missed like
No.
what?
No.
Somebody gave me a bottle of iodine because I talk about, I always talk about in your 7-Eleven, iodine would be at the bottom of this report. If this was a 7-Eleven top moving product, iodine would be down here at the bottom.
Well,
Nobody.
but I always say that for those that are buy and holders or those that don't understand the power of this trader, you might want to buy iodine and Band-Aids because you might be bleeding.
What?
Right.
You don't even know where you're going with this.
Have
So
you showed them the
Jag,
layer 2 screen?
oh sure, Kathy
Because that way they'll
Jaggiello
see like how
gave
all
me a
of our
bunch
orders.
of products you would find in a 7-Eleven. One of my
Those are the
clients.
fast moving products, yeah, the Doritos.
So you wanted to see which?
The layer 2, so you can see
Oh, the
where
level 2. Well, this is
yeah.
another thing I learned. All the way back in 2001, I was sitting in a day trading house, and I was trading. I wanted to see how did the professionals trade, and there were what they call prop houses popped up all over Arizona, in Phoenix and Scottsdale. So I went in there and I was watching a whole room full of traders. They were all in there, but I didn't know how they were all trading. I knew they had this screen called the level 2 screen up. This thing. And these are your orders when you place orders at the exchange or at a stockbroker. You're saying, I'm willing to sell my coin, but I'm only willing to sell like this bottom one here, $29 worth at this price. Now the next guy is saying he's willing to sell $138 worth because there's the quantity times the price gives you the total amount. But he wants more money for his. And going up the line, they're going to want more and more and more. If I wanted to buy $1,000 worth, well, these bottom three aren't going to cover it. I wouldn't get filled until I got to this guy right here. So I would actually be paying 6,517, not 6,514 for the price. So you can see how that works. So I was sitting in there trading, and I bought some Microsoft, and then I just said out loud to everybody, because I'm pretty vocal. I said, how do I know when to sell this Microsoft that I just bought? I just threw that out there in the air, right? And somebody came up to my right shoulder and he said, that's easy. You see that guy right there? Sell it right under him. So his price would be 6,514. Sell it for 6,513. So what happens is, I'm going to show you what happens. Because you're floating your orders in public view, your limit orders, these orders are all in public view. There's his 6,514 price, right? I'm selling at 6,513, so it tries to go to a 6,514, but then it won't make it to 6,514 because the buyer is going to buy at 6,513, and then it's going to go lower again. So all the professional traders are just buying and selling under that guy, and as long as that sits there, they're all just buying and selling right under him. And then the price heads back down and you think you were just unlucky. How many times have you looked at a chart and said, why won't it go to my price? It tries to go down and then it tries to go back up, but it won't quite hit it. And then it goes back down again. It's because all the professional traders are trading right under you. The auto trader does not float orders. Our orders do not show up on this screen. We track all of our orders internally. We don't float them in public view. And
Yeah,
I'll
and
show you.
let me give another shout out to Crypto Casey. When you get a chance to watch the video she just released, she does such a pure genius job in explaining what you're talking about right now. And it is, yeah,
No, what's funny is I didn't know until a couple weeks ago that the trader didn't wasn't involved with showing on the layer level
Oh,
2 screen. So that was a fun fact for me too.
oh.
I
And think of all these years, I mean,
know.
that you don't know, millions of people don't
I would
realize
have
they're
never
just
asked.
being,
I just thought it was just inherent. Like all of them were on that screen.
no.
Okay. You got a
So,
little VPN or something.
so look at all these fake orders here. I mean, nobody's trading $1.26 worth of that coin. If you're trying to buy $1,000 worth of that coin, and look at this price is all the way down here. Well, that $1.26 order is not going to get you there. The software adds these up as it's going until it reaches the $1,000 worth of shares that you're trying to buy. And it says, how much am I going to have to pay if I had to buy all these? Well, this is 3146. Even at the very top, we're at 319 already. And then we still haven't bought $1,000 worth. How many of these am I going to have to go? How many of these fake orders am I going to have to go through to get my order filled? I guarantee you there's no other trading app out there that does the interrogation of this level 2 screen that we do. Because I learned all the way back in 2001 that the public is being made a fool of. And I hate to say that. They're just being robbed and they don't even know it. And so, because somebody called me, why do I have a picture of that? Because here, what's the date on that? April 14th. That was just a week ago, right? Somebody called me and said, how come my auto trader won't buy this coin? And I'm like, I went and looked at the level 2 screen and I said, dear Lord, the auto trader's not stupid. It's not going to jump into that. You're not going to get filled. You think you're going to get filled at this price down here. No, you're not. You're going to pay something way up here and even above that. It's like, forget it. And if you're trying to sell, you're in the same situation. Look at all this fake garbage going down. You're selling
Yeah, it's
at these
almost like
prices.
it's like a dam. Like they hold everything, and then once everybody's loaded up, they let the water come through, and then they make all the money.
You
It's
just
all
you
a
just
big,
explained what Ed was saying about passing the Clarity Act.
Yeah,
Everybody's
that's exactly
manipulating the market.
that's the Clarity Act. We need an
there.
acronym to describe that. It's just holding everything back until
They
everybody
are
makes a lot of money.
holding these prices as low as they can to load up like crazy. And then you got somebody, and I don't mean to, I'm not going to mention names, but the person who sold the XCN a couple days yesterday or the day before, I'm not sure, but he sold it at the very bottom. Who do you think sucked up all those shares? Probably one of the senators loading
Or
up at the
maybe
bottom.
another auto trader.
Or maybe
Or another Go
If you
Baby
need a
Trade
tax
auto trader
deduction,
for
if you need a
sure.
tax deduction, selling at a loss helps. You should
And you
have
don't
that as
even
a
need
button, like tax
the auto
deduction,
trader.
sell everything.
The auto trader has selling at a we don't even need to sell at a loss to save taxes because the brokers, the way they log the trades, they make your trades, your winning trades, look like losing trades.
Hmm.
That's another thing. FIFO versus LIFO. I'll talk about that for a second. Is that okay, Attila? Take a minute to talk about
Yeah,
FIFO and LIFO?
1 or 2 minutes is good on that.
All
You
right.
gotta hit HIFO too. You gotta hit HIFO too.
HIFO is all right. Highest in, first out. It used to be FIFO, first in, first out, means the first one you bought they're going to log it as the first one you sell. So when I sell down here, even though I buy at $10 and the price goes to $1 and then it goes up to $2. The one that I bought at $1, the auto trader is going to sell it at $2 and take the profit. But the broker or the exchange is going to log it as if I sold the one that I bought at $10 and I sold it at $2 for an $8 loss. You're not violating any laws here, folks. It's totally legal, and they're doing it. They are logging most of your trades as losses. And so at tax time, you You
Well,
don't
that's
owe any
HIFO.
money.
Yep, that's
And then
HIFO.
And then
HIFO is
there's two other
even
ones.
better. They're looking at, because our first one might have been here, but then let's say your first one you bought was here, and then the price went higher, and then it came all the way down. The highest one, so it is even higher than your first one. And they're actually logging the trades as highest in, first out to give you maximum loss. It's the greatest ever. This is just a demonstration of how the rich get richer. Attila, you were talking about somebody was doing their taxes.
Yeah.
Do you remember the number? Wasn't it like they
Oh,
had
actually, we talked about that probably about a month and a half ago. One of our clients um, just received her tax report from
the
Coinbase.
1099?
Right, and she made real money in the trader. She made $14,000, but the way that it was reported by Coinbase, she actually received a 1099 for a $21,000 loss,
Yeah.
when she actually
Isn't that
pocketed
great?
14,000. I'm like,
Isn't
okay,
that great?
give me that one.
I mean, we take so much money off the table, and people are amazed when they say they don't know taxes. I'm like, I love it, man. I mean, everything about the system is positive. There's no negative in this because someone once said, well, you tell me all this positive stuff. How about telling me something negative? The thing is, in 25 years, I live and breathe this stuff. And I see so much corruption and I fix it. I mean, even simple things like when we place an order, the auto trader doesn't the exchange replies back and says order is filled, right? Now you think you're done, but we learned through the years, verify the shares. Are they really there? Did they really fill the order? Or in their mind, they filled the order, but they didn't finish the process on their side that made the shares available to us. So even though the order was filled, we don't have the shares yet. Well, I can't sell what I don't have. So over the years, we have three different checks we make before we verify that we really do have those shares that we just bought. And we learned that over the years because when it first happened, yeah, it was like, what the heck just happened? They said they filled the order. I tried to sell the shares. They're saying we don't have the shares. I learned that all the way back in like 2003. So, so the software got better then. I had to fix these things, they were problems at the time. But now it's just a money machine after 25 years. I mean, we're done, man. It's this end game.
I think I
And
have like one downside. I remember whenever I first looked at it, I'm like, this screen is ugly. Like
Tell me what it is. I
this
got
looks
my
like
pen.
1998.
Oh, that's the one thing I can't fix. I'm a
And
programmer,
then
not a graphic
yeah, I
artist.
know. And here's what's funny. My video editor always asks, she's like, does GoBabyTrade have a logo? I'm like, I don't think so. So she just puts letter
We
like the
don't have a
text on there.
graphic artist in house. Sorry.
Yeah. I was like, you should just make one up. It's like they still don't
At
have a logo. I'm like,
Microsoft,
no,
when they
they don't.
hired me, they called me an internal. I was an internals programmer, man. I do deep programming. I don't look at the screens. They have other people for that. Um,
so here's an interesting note. Kathy J, she was the young lady that I just referred to with the $14,000 profit and a $21,000 loss. She said that was me. It passed my accountant's sniff test when I filed.
I know
Is
That's
even
that
the
a
awesome.
thing accountants
accountants
say? Because
don't know.
I know a few accountants and they always say sniff test. I wonder if they learned that like on their exam. Like,
Yeah.
Probably,
Yeah,
probably.
yeah. I
Hey,
took an accounting class once, and he said, "Do we cheat them or how?"
Right.
that's the law firm, right? Hey, before we let's transition into the
Or and how?
into the Q&A. Um, uh,
Look at the
listen,
size of that
Johnny Cash,
smart water
are
bottle.
you gonna take your jacket off to answer questions?
Well, I don't know if you're going to make me look like these analysts on TV who tell you nothing.
No, go put a
They
tie
they
on.
just spew things. You never learn anything from them. I listen to Jim Cramer on TV, and it's like I can't listen to this. I mean, as soon as I see him on the TV now, I flip the channel. It's like, oh, Jim Cramer, get off there, because he's
So,
not going to tell me anything. He's going to say, well, buy this stock, if these 17 conditions happen. Goodbye.
so,
I'm
so
going to take
before,
my coat off so I don't
yeah.
look like those
All
analysts.
right. So before we transition into the Q&A, we're going to do two things. We're going to open the mic to Casey. If you could give us a little background and how you got to know us and what your thoughts are, and then after that, I'm going to fulfill on our promise, which when we looked at the scenarios, and I mentioned that you could take as little as $500 and actually make a very large residual income over time. We're going to give you that exact step-by-step plan. But Casey, go right ahead.
Sure. I mean, long story short, I've never said this part before, but I get a lot of emails, Twitter messages, stuff about, hey, look at this product, look at this service. In this particular instance, one of my friends I have a business venture with that has nothing to do with crypto. I told him there's one rule to this business arrangement. I want to be a silent partner. I don't like talk about my YouTube stuff. And he immediately violated it within like a month. And he was at a networking event where I think just Edward was there. And then Edward had casually mentioned that he was in blockchain, education, financial stuff. And he's like, oh, you should meet my friend Casey. She has a YouTube channel. But, he said exactly what I said not to do. And then I think Edward knew the channel. I'm not sure.
Oh,
At
I
any
knew
rate,
the channel.
he
Actually, I never tell this part either. I think I did
I've
once.
never heard that part.
And so he's like, "Oh yeah, I've got. She's a huge crypto influencer. You got to meet my friend Casey." I'm like, "Are you talking about crypto, Casey?" He goes, "Yeah. Do you know her?" I said, "Yeah. She's who I learned crypto from." And I'm like, "Dude, there is no way you know crypto, Casey." Well.
And then I'm hanging out with my friend. He's like, hey, I mentioned you. I know you said not to do it, and they want to meet with you. I'm like, are you serious? Anyway, so then I meet with Edward and Attila, and they give me this spew of this product, and I'm just like, it says all the things that I hate saying in my videos. I started videos in 2017. Said to forget it. No way. Like, too good to be true. Scam, scam, scam. But hey, part of what I do is I'll just sign up for stuff. I buy stuff. I test it out. If it's valuable, I want to share it, because otherwise, are we going to see this stuff on billboards? No. Are we going to see it on local ads? No. We're going to see pharmaceutical stuff that, like, you can't compete against marketing of trash, but on mainstream media. So that's why I like to test stuff out and then try to tell people about it. Anyway, so unbeknownst to them, after I hear the spiel, I'm like, scam, whatever. I buy it for the full $4,500. I'm running it for 4 months, and I'm like, wow, this is insane. So then I'm like, hey guys, what's this about? And then I got to meet Ed, the creator, asked him a lot of questions. And then it took me 9 months before I made the first video about it. And I was like, I'm going to catch a lot of heat, which I did. It was most heated. I had to not even look at the comments and stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm glad that I did it, because my experience was a good experience. And so far, so good. Almost 3 years later. So.
Yeah, and I can tell you, we get feedback all the time that you have blessed your pathway through us to share it with your audience has blessed thousands of people.
No, I'm happy about that. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. I would say, don't do it.
Yeah.
Oh no.
No, so far so good.
Everything you've seen is in a down market. Watch what happens when that market turns up. Man, we're going to be in uncharted waters, man.
Yeah.
Because we got all that inventory we bought on the way down that we're going to be selling. It's going to be beautiful.
Yep. And actually, one stint of when I had the trader was, remember the super crazy meme pop between like January and March of, was it 2024?
Yep, 24.
It was ridiculous. I was like, this is criminal. But that's what they do to us.
I know, that's what I call it. Criminal. It feels criminal, really. I'm not violating any laws. I have to keep telling myself that.
No, but this is exactly what they do, but they have the power to manipulate it with all the capital they have. This is what they do, but they have the capital and the mainstream media puppets to orchestrate all of it, and they make way more than we can.
Yeah, you want to beat people at their you want to beat the big guys at their own games, and girls. Own one of these traders because it gives you an unfair advantage. Without it, I ask you this question all the time, Casey. Of all the trading of all of the things, not just crypto, stocks, whatever, how much do you believe is, one, AI or automation driven, and two, manipulated?
I'm gonna give the AI one to AI expert Ed, but manipulated 100%. I mean, I got a degree in finance, seeing all this stuff, how crypto works. What's funny is like you can only have casinos and legalized gambling in certain parts. However, the entire financial system is is a casino that's rigged. It's even worse than a casino sometimes,
Way,
in my
way,
opinion. Yeah.
way.
Oh yeah, I think it's way
All right. So
worse than a casino.
how much is AI involved with the trading of all the financial markets?
You mean automated? I
Yeah.
think I think 99%.
Yeah.
I think all the volume you're looking at is the big guys with their computers. Joe Public is not moving these prices. No way. There's no way
True
I could
that.
make, no matter
Maybe
what I
maybe
do,
Michael
I can't
Saylor
make
is
these
moving
prices move.
Bitcoin sometimes. Maybe Michael's moving some stuff, but just Bitcoin. But otherwise, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
between manipulators
no
and
way.
prognosticators, yeah, they're moving the prices around. But the cool thing about that is in your sleep, you get to ride the coattails. And by the way, over 3 million lines of code that never in an automated fashion never sells at a loss. But while you're sleeping and living your life, you saw that I think it was layer 3 chart. You cannot, even if you were a professional trying to be a professional trader, closing your eyes and throwing a dart, unless you're 24/7 365 and you can make millisecond moves, there's no way you can compete with this.
Nope.
It literally
You would
will.
actually make more money if without, compared to the way people trade, you'd probably be better off throwing the dart
Probably.
because their premise is all wrong when they jump in. They're jumping in at the wrong time and they're investing the wrong amount of money, and their whole philosophy about the market is wrong because they're taught wrong. They're
Well,
taught to have like you always hear that phrase, let your winners run and cut your losers short. And it's wrong because that means put a 3% stop loss in every time you buy a coin, because if it pulls back 3%, sell it at a loss. Well, you'll be selling at a loss all the time.
mhm,
That's right.
mhm.
And remember, a couple of weeks ago, or maybe was it a month ago, every coin dropped 7% in one day. I saw it, -7, -7, -7, -7, -8, -8, -8, -7, -7, -7. I told myself right away, institutional behavior. No way Joe Public made all those coins drop 7%. Then I asked myself, why 7%? What's magic about 7%? All those stop losses that people put in. They didn't want to get stopped out at 3% drops, so they raised it to 5% drops, or 6% drops, or 7% drops. And when those institutions knew that, so they pushed all the coins down 7%. Millions of stop losses automatically went in. Millions of shares of people's shares sold off. And who do you think was on the other end sucking up all those shares? BlackRock, Vanguard, they were just sucking them all up. They were all ready because they pushed it down and they were ready to do all the buying.
And
And they did it.
whenever you do the stop losses or any kind of orders, it's if you're playing poker, you have a better chance of winning a poker, because otherwise, when you're doing that, you're making these trades.
Huh.
You're showing them
Oh,
that your hand, and they already know
right in
they're
public
gonna win
view.
no matter what.
Yep.
Well, it's like sitting playing poker and you're sitting there with a mirror behind you and everybody sees
Yeah.
your cards. I mean, seriously. And it's so obvious that it sometimes it freaks me out that everybody doesn't see this stuff. But, I can't fix the headlight on my car. You know, I don't know how to do a lot of stuff. My wife holds the ladder when I'm changing a light bulb in the bedroom. It's like, really? You know, I'm pathetic.
All right. So, who wants to see us give you the path to success and how you can turn $500 over time into actually not only 11,000, but we're going to show you two different paths that uh, of 11,000, almost $12,000 in passive income, or possibly as much as 24,000.
So you're going to
Just a
bring that
scenario.
up?
I am.
All
So
right,
I'm.
can I just show this one thing here before I go?
Sure.
All right, you see this? Look what happened on January 26th. This is an example of what happens when the market turns up, because we've been in this downtrend. This coin, ACH, went from 2 cents, 0.020, you can see it down here at the bottom, and then it just started going up on January 26th. And it continued going up for days. And what was nice, while it was going up and we were selling off all that inventory that we bought at the higher price while it was heading up, it was actually wiggling up. It was going up and down. So you see all these opens in the middle of it. Open, open. These opens in the middle. So we were actually, while we were selling off the inventory we bought on the way down, we were actually buying more and selling it. And so we were double dipping on the way up. And in 5 days, that coin went up 200 or how much percent? It went from 2 cents to almost 6 cents.
Mm-hmm. Almost
That's like a
300%.
300% return in 6 days.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I mean, it's a joke, the markets, and again, an insult to humanity. It's the easiest game in town. But you need an auto trader. You need this auto trader. Other auto traders that are out there, beware. Be aware, they're giving you a bunch of screens with all these different settings. You really want to sit there and stare at technical indicators all day and then and try to jump in and know when to jump in and how much to invest and when to get out and all that? I mean, or do you want to just have something you just turn it on just like a savings account? You put your money in there and you watch it and it does
And
it
I
all.
and I have a testament to time. I remember this was several years ago, but something crazy in the market happened where we dropped like a rock. And I happened to be up kind of late. And so it was like the Asian market was selling off. And then so I have a crypto chat with some friends and I was like, are you seeing this? We were on the East Coast at the time. And everybody's like, well, I feel bad for California. And everybody's like, that woke up from California is like, oh no, we missed it. So yeah, this is 365, 24/7. If something happens and you're a good trader for 8 hours of the day, 12 hours a day, whenever you're asleep, a lot of things can happen.
A lot of things. You're right. You're right.
Oh, we clean up in the middle of the night.
All right,
I
let
mean,
me show some numbers. Everybody wants to
even
know
that
how to
one
make
was at
money.
8:54 in the morning. That's 5:54 my time in Las Vegas. We're a 3-hour difference. That's New York time. So I wasn't up at 5:54. My alarm didn't ring until 6.
May I borrow
Okay.
the screen, Einstein?
Yes.
Okay. All right, let me share and I'll take you to the path that I was referring to. Okay, can everybody see my screen?
Almost.
It's
No.
coming up, Edward.
I mean,
Okay,
now
we
I see it.
now.
All right, and this is an online investment calculator that I've got set up to show you the scenario. I'm going to show you 2 scenarios. So I talked about, yes, you have to invest in the auto trader, which I'll put that discount link in again. But once you do, if you started with $500, you saw in I think in the top trader report, somebody started with 1,000. So let's just say you start with $500. You can do it faster, but I'm going to take you through a 9-year cycle, which gives you the opportunity to think about correlation of if you're putting your money in say a 401k now for someday with no cash flow, and let's say you have an emergency somewhere along the way, and I'm telling you a scenario that I lived personally. I had to borrow money for medical expenses out of my 401k, and they penalized me for it. Right? So this isn't a someday scenario. This is a starting today scenario where you have full control of your money, cash flow all the time, complete sovereignty of what you do with it without tax implications. So keep that in mind. So $500 over 9 years at a 50% return. Why 50%? Because I took what I consider a conservative number based on how the trader has been operating. I mentioned to you at the beginning, true and fact. Factually, the over the a little bit over 4-year period that the trader has been in existence, it has over a 4-year period, not all at once. Don't ask me about the valuations in between, but over that 4-year period has operated at 125% on average over that period of time. I mean, so I know that's shocking, but it's fact. So where did I get the 50%? I thought, okay, well, let's just use a relatively conservative number. I have 3 traders myself. We are all products of the product. And none of our traders have ever operated anywhere near the low of 50%. That's where that number comes in. So, and if you committed to adding $500 a month over that 9-year period, your valuation of money in hand, $509,000 in profit. Yes, over time you've added 54,000. You started with 5, but what better is, as Ed says, what better savings account, and where are you going to get that kind of return on your money? All right, so here's where it gets magical. $563,993.68. Now you're ready to just go off and live your life and be done, spend as much time as you can having fun with your family. I take that, I change the scenario, I put that money in. I've changed this to 1 year. I've changed this to, let's just say 25%, which is even, again, way more conservative than it's been operating at. You decide, okay, I'm not going to put any more money in. Your account value is now $704,000. It spits out $140,998.42 passive income per year. Divide that by 12. It's $11,749.86. Did I tell you the truth from the beginning? The answer is yes. This is not a what if. This is, as Casey said, this is a time value equation. Where are you going to put your money that is going to, as Attila will reiterate, put your money to work, give it a job, and let it work to your advantage. Okay? Here's the scary part. Let's say we change that to 50%, and it continues to operate at that level, and this is a 1-year scenario. Look at the number, $281,996.84 per year, which equates to $23,499.73 passive income per month. Are either one of those numbers or even half of those numbers going to change your life? I mean, what are you working for? Working for someday where you're not taxed out the backside, where you can start to look at a scenario that, where is it? Let's see. I'm gonna flip over for a second. Remember this picture?
Oh, we don't see it.
It's not coming up?
No.
Not yet.
Okay. Bear with me. Let me reshare.
Also, financial institutions are designed to use that money and do exactly what this thing does with it, but only give you 0.06%.
But you
or
get
like
to
maybe
be
7.
you get to be the bank now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So does that put yourself in a very clear picture of moving out of scenario 1 or scenario 2, where you have an income producing asset that literally just spits out money? What could you do with 5,000 a month or 10,000, or in this case, almost 12 or almost $24,000 a month in passive income? This is a real plan. Not giving you financial advice. I'm showing you how maths to your maximum benefit by simply having a plan, right?
Edward, I also want to urge everybody, either now or when you get off this Zoom, is take inventory of what kind of assets or platforms that you actually control and own that spits out cash flow. That really is the key. You can't be just buying stuff all the time and spending money and spitting out your own hard-earned money. You've got to have the way to, I'll say it now instead of waiting to the end. You work hard, you either have a job or you own a business. You get income from that or revenue, and then your money's unemployed. The
What's
best way,
nice?
in my estimation, the very best way for you to give your money a job, which is our responsibility to multiply our money, is with the GoBabyTrade technology. There's no better
What's
way.
nice is the cash that it takes in a day, the profits that it makes is actually yours right away. It's your money.
Right,
Take it. Do
right.
whatever you want with it. It's
Yeah,
not like sitting around waiting for a bank statement.
right.
to
Ed?
tell you you made 8 cents last
Yep.
quarter.
Right, right. Are you ready to do some Q&A, Ed? Because we've covered a
I'm
lot.
ready. I'm chopping at the bit
Okay.
here.
Okay, great.
Does
Great.
that
So
let me just ask a question when we're everybody in the audience, does what we just showed make sense to you, or do you think it's made up? I can't straighten that. It wasn't
hey,
supposed to be funny. I didn't mean for you to have coke coming out your nose, but the fact of the matter is what we're sharing with you in the little bit over 2 plus probably 2.5 hours is an education and an illumination that you will never, ever, ever get anywhere else on the planet. Everything that you have been taught about money has been from the people that have architected the system to be against you. 90% of everything that you know about the current debt-based fiat financial system is a lie, is a
But
scam.
life can't be as hard as they're making it out to be. You know what I mean?
Oh, they engineer it. They engineered it
Yeah.
to be.
Oh, I know. I'm
Sometimes I
just
mention
saying that
Sometimes I
that
mention it, not all the time. I spent 32 years as a federal agent inside the matrix that I got to see the gears and the people sitting down and creating the architecture and laughing in big boardrooms of how they were creating a system that kept you financially broke. Is that absurd? You talk about criminal?
But here's what I love about it. Let's talk mathematically to you engineers out there. A coin can only drop 100%. That's it. And that means the company actually went out of business, which is really hard for that to happen, really. For big companies to just go out of business, that's not easy to happen. But profit-wise, you can take profits forever. You could take 100,000% in returns, but the worst case scenario is it goes out of business. But but it would have to go straight out of business because the longer it stays in business and keeps pumping you money, that profits are just going to keep adding up forever. You know.
right.
So that's
True
one
that.
point I wanted to make, and the other point I wanted to make is every day that you don't have an auto trader, you see this inventory, 37 lots, 25 lots, 30 lots. That takes the auto trader time to build that inventory. That's what I call a well-seasoned auto trader, a lot of inventory because, and the example is the 7-Eleven. You always hear me say it. If you only have one bag of potato chips on the shelf and a school bus pulls in, you're only going to sell one bag of potato chips. I don't
Is
care
that
how
a
many kids are
little
on that. I don't care how many kids are on that school bus.
is that a little yellow school bus?
Yeah, that was a little one. But if you have a lot of potato chips, these Kathy Jagulos
Kathy
gave
J.
me Kathy J. She gave me all these, but so I got all these props. But if you have a lot of potato chips on your school bus and a school bus pulls in, you're gonna sell a lot. And what I mean by that is when that coin pops, you want to have inventory. You don't want to just have one lot. That's why I don't like to see empty shelves in a store. Thousands of people walk past that empty shelf. I'm like, that's poor business. You can put a pair of shoes on that shelf, somebody will probably buy it.
All right, Ed.
Right next to the olives or something. So every day that you don't have an auto trader, number one, you're not building inventory. So the sooner you get started, the better. And also, every day you don't have an auto trader, you're not taking free money that they're throwing at you. They're just literally throwing free money at you, and you're just saying, I don't want it. It's crazy, man.
Edward, do you want to take the first question in the Q&A?
Indeed, thank you.
Sure.
In the meantime, while we're sharing goodness, I posted a bunch of links in the chat.
Great.
Let me cover that. The first one is Crypto Casey's discount link, where you can go do all your research and look at all that we've showed you, and also get a $1,000 discount to change your financial future. The second link
Hey,
I put in was two of the support emails, support@gobabytrade.com. support@rctmarketingsystems.com. That's where you can submit your questions, or you can ask us to schedule a time with you if you want to buy the trader and get it set up. When you enter through the front door of our community, it is a community that's here to help and support. We're not here to sell software. We're here to help you change your life. So keep that in mind. Then I also, if you're not a rabid fan and didn't know about Crypto Casey, and now you're a rabid fan, go to her YouTube channel. I just posted that. Like, love, smash the buttons. It is the best free education that you will ever get.
Yep.
Then the next link, the last link that I posted was for our community. It's free for now. It is a community that surrounds you with like-minded individuals that are all about giving people a way to improve their life. We are all members of. Crypto Casey is, Ed Barsano is. We can't always get to your questions immediately, but we're there to help. So I don't know how much more we can lay out to say, hey, you've got people in your corner that want to see you do better. So with that, I'm going to jump on the questions. Bill, hey, you all, quick question. My trader's been taking 2% trades instead of 3% trades all this week. Is there a reason why it's taking 2% trades? I'll take whatever the market gives me. Ed, you want to take that one?
Well, if it's taking 2% trades, then your profit goal is probably set at 1%. You should look at it because it is taken whatever the profit goal is, plus it's adding the trading fee to it. So I can't see how it would only take 2% if it has to take your profit goal, whatever the setting is, plus the trading fees. It's adding that to the fee. It's adding that to the profit goal.
Okay.
Click on the plus. Click on the plus. Like let's see. We just sold ACH. It'll show it here. It shows me right here. There's the profit the percent. This is a closed trade. These are still open. This one here, it took $247, the gray one, and it shows the profit goal. Are you saying yours is 2%?
Well,
I believe
one
yes.
thing,
No, you said it's been trading at 2% profit move, so it may just be that's where his setting is.
yeah,
Okay.
the
Nope. He
two
says
percent.
no.
Is he just saying that my setting happens to be set at 2%?
Nope. Nope. Nope.
Should it
Nope.
be something else?
No. He's taking 2% profits and wanted to know why, but he just confirmed in the chat that his profit goal is set at 3%.
Isn't
Yeah,
that the
that
Well,
basic
doesn't
that
one?
just
that doesn't make any sense. You're not going to have your profit goal set at 3% and have the trader take profits at 2%.
That's the whole basis of his question.
Well, it's possible. You see what the level 2 screen looks like sometimes. There are a lot of gameplay here.
Okay.
There's a lot of gameplay. It's possible that it could take less, because there are only a handful of trades here when there's millions of traders. There are a handful of orders. I mean,
Mhm.
these orders can move quickly. So but I can't see it doing all year. I mean, all week. I could see one order like that, an occasional order where the bottom drops out on you.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be a common thing. What coin is it?
Yeah, but put what coin, Bill, in the chat, and I'll take the next question. Here's a big endorsement for you, Mr. Barsano. Brian says, happy Go Baby owner since October of 2025. Ed, you are a badass.
Thanks.
We agree. Uh,
Thanks, Bill.
Here's his question. In my filled orders, sometimes it will say added to declining positions, canceled. Why does it say that? And what does that mean?
It means the bottom dropped out of it. It means it was adding to a decliner. The position was going down. So we're looking at, you're trying to buy and then the price just took off or something. And it said, you know what? I'm not going to pay that much. So the software said, no, cancel the order. because we don't float the orders out there, and if the numbers are moving fast enough, and there could be a lot of fake orders there where all of a sudden you're thinking you're paying down here, but they're going to say no, we're going to fill you up here, and it's like, well, forget it then.
Mm-hmm.
Then the software will just cancel the order.
Okay,
We're not
great.
going to leave the order sitting out there. We will not leave a limit order sitting out there in public view.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. So
Um,
Bill said all of his coins have experienced a 2% profit, and he's asking, could, and I'm ad-libbing a little bit, can you take a look at it, Ed, or be able to connect
Sure,
with
shoot
him?
me an email at support@gobabytrade.com.
Cool.
I do it. I do a lot of it. Please review my account.
yeah. That's easy to do, Bill. So good question. Joe Hudson asking the following. I got this one. I own and hold BTC, Ethereum, XRP, and others. I'd like to put some of these coins into the trader. Is there a best way to do this? Yes, but I have to first ask you, Joe, if you want to put in 100% of your holdings. If the answer is yes, you could just put that into the right there in the blue where Ed Barsano is now showing the arrow. You just put him in there. Right. But remember, you really are hurting yourself if you have more than 3, 4, 5 coins. You don't need more than 3 or 4. I don't recommend more than 3 and 4. You're diluting yourself. Now, here's the main thing to your question and the answer. Let's say you own 10,000 XRP and you only want 5,000 of that in the trader. Then you've got to move the other 5 off either to another exchange or wallet or create a portfolio within Coinbase and move that out of there move that to the portfolio. Because if you list BTC and you don't change and sell that, or not sell, but convert those 5,000 XRP into USDC, then the trader will pull in all 10,000 of your XRP. So caution to the wind there. Okay, you got to decide on that. If you want more detail on that, feel free to email us at support@rctmarketingsystems.com.
If she doesn't check the allow sell here,
E.
if she
Joe.
doesn't
Well,
sell the
scroll up a
allow
little bit so we
sell,
can see the names of the columns.
oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, I was
There we go.
right there. If he doesn't check the allow sell, then he can just put it all in there. It's okay. The auto trader's not going to sell
We're
it
just
off.
going to buy.
Right. It's
However,
just going
I'm
to
not.
accumulate.
Yeah. However, if he just wants to trade, I wouldn't recommend trading Bitcoin and Ethereum. They don't move as much as the other altcoins do. But if you're trying to accumulate, yeah, then you uncheck those. So
Right, right.
Yeah,
I hope that
because
answers.
they
don't
won't move.
I just learned that the hard way. When I first started with you, Ed, I don't know if you remember, I can't remember. I think it was fetch.ai.
Yeah.
I wanted the trader to trade it, but I didn't want it to trade it all, and it pulled it all in. Remember? And then, well, we fixed it afterwards, but it's just the name.
That actually happened with me in AIOZ, which I wasn't sad about because it did sell everything at a profit, but
Yeah.
I didn't want it to
warning?
do.
Look, if you're considering trading a coin that you already own in your exchange account, please click here to read more before
There it is.
adding the symbol.
There it is, right there. Perfect. Yep.
Unfortunately, that's all the way up there, and you're normally looking all the way down here.
No, that's
I
great.
don't know where to put it
That's
to
great
put
that
it closer.
I'm glad you brought that to everybody's attention. So
But
thanks
there is somewhat of a warning.
Okay, you want me to get the next one, Edward?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Michael S. is asking, if the sentiment is that the market is at the bottom and you expect it to move higher, what would be the appropriate settings to use for our trader now? Well, first of all, there's no guarantee in paper from anybody that the market is at the bottom. Okay, I have really good intel from my sources that the market's going to top out somewhere around the 9th or 10th of May. And then we're going to be in a great buying opportunity again right through the summer. So remember those dates, give or take a week, about the 9th or 10th of May is what my intel is telling me. And this intel is 99.9% accurate so far. I've been using them for over 5 years. They're very, very accurate. So nobody says the market's at the bottom now. So
Because
that's
the auto trader handles it, I
yeah,
don't really care what the
doesn't
dates
matter.
are or what's
Right,
going on. I
right.
let the auto trader deal with it. It'll deal with a down market, it'll deal with an up market.
There's no settings you want to change really for whether the market's up or
Yeah.
down. So, okay, Saeed says you have an example, excuse me, you have an example of making $900 from investing $1,000. Oh, my question is, how long did that take?
Is it in this? Then 1 year.
Yeah, 1 year. These are all 1 year, Saeed.
This is a 1 year report.
1 year report. Yep. Good question. Again, folks, just understand this. There's only one guarantee we make, right, Ed? The guarantee is this. The trader will give you as much profit as the market is willing to give to the trader. This is all market dependent. What I've seen from the averages over the last couple of years since I've been with the crypto trader is about 3 to 7% a month, roughly. However, please note, let's say the absolute worst happens and the biggest disaster with the trader is only 2% a month. That's like a real disastrous month for the auto trader. Folks, that's 24% a year. Where on earth are you going to get that in TradFi, traditional finance? You're not.
You'll be
Especially,
charged that on a credit card.
Yeah. Well, I mean, L3, layer 3 went up 250% in 1 day.
That's manipulation. And all of it, even those drops. I mean,
Oh,
but
yeah,
you
for
can still
sure.
make money if the more manipulation, actually, the more you're making.
yeah, right.
Yeah, we
Volatility.
love I mean, look at this, straight up and then down here, straight down, and
Yep.
then straight up again. Straight up, straight down. And then anything you bought down here, you just sold all off all throughout here. And then all this free money, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. I mean, you can't really, this is just a giving you, this is not designed to tell you this is what I'm going to make. This is just saying this is what you could make. And really, this whole last year was a crummy year. It was really a straight down year. And the fact that we could continue taking profits in a down market,
Hey,
I
Ed,
mean,
do
there's
me a
no,
favor. Since you're on your trader,
you
can
might
you,
make 1,000% in a year. Watch when this market turns up. It's going to be a whole different ballgame.
for sure. Do me a favor, since you're on your trader, can you share one more thing with your main screen? And that this is really important. If anybody's trader is not acting the way you think you believe it should be acting based on what you've heard on these Zooms, show everybody the health meter. Just click on that because that's one of the most ingenious things I've seen you come out with since I've been with you again here since we reconnected 25 months ago, Ed.
We have a health meter here. I didn't bring it up under the menu that that evaluates the health. It looks at a lot of stuff and it sees if it sees any problems. Okay? So, all this green here, once you see green, it's all green down below.
It's all good.
Everything is checking. These are all green.
Green is
However, it's given one warning. It's not an error. The error would have a big red. It would be red and it would be a big X. But this is just informational. It's telling me trader not to set to save profits. It's giving me a warning. It's saying, hey, by the way, Ed likes you to save profits.
yeah.
I mean, because I don't know, I just like it when people save profits because if you keep throwing all your money in directly without saving your profits, see, I'm not saving any of the profits. Then how good is my trader doing if you just the auto trader's job is to make money. How you spend it is up to you. Now, if you're just throwing it all in, you're letting the software reinvest those profits as it's going, then you're just throwing it into a down market. Then you're not seeing, you really want to see the full power of the auto trader. Leave the default. the default setting is to save 100% of your profits, and you'll watch this bucket grow.
But the
Like
great
I have
news,
another trader that had 300,000 in it a couple years ago, and I went out and just blew 200,000 and bought a Range Rover. I didn't even care. It was like free money,
but the great
you
news is
know.
that even if you don't save your profits, it shows you the total profits the trader has made you on
Yeah,
the
you
left.
can see it
Since,
right here.
yeah, I mean, that's
But
since
but that warning, that's just a warning. It's just an informational message, really, telling me, that I like you to save your profits.
that's
That's all.
this health meter is overlooked by most people. They don't know how convenient it is to use. And I just wanted to make sure everybody that's with
Yeah.
us today has heard that.
Sometimes it might tell you one of your coins is out of money. Then you'll go over here to select currencies and you'll look down here and this coin here, might have used up all of its money and then all you have to do to remedy that is just click this up here, spread funds equally, and it'll borrow money from all the other coins. Boom, one click of that, and it'll spread the money fairly evenly,
But
the available funds.
the brilliant part about what you created here, Ed, is on some of the reds, like if it's an issue somebody needs to address, on the far right, you have a button that says click here to fix it. You just click on it and
Right.
the trader automatically fixes the issue. You don't have to do it.
Yeah, you might run out of max lots.
Right.
Like
That's
I'm
exactly right.
adding on 1% drops for 60 lots. You know, that'll
Yeah.
cover me to a 60% drop.
Yep.
Um, in the coin. These coins already dropped 90%, but it's like 60% from the remaining lots that I have available. So
Anyways,
60% drop from
thank
from um from after I already have all these lots.
yeah. Thank you for showing that, Ed. I wanted to make sure everybody was aware that that is a feature not to be overlooked.
The software would automatically, if that happened, if you clicked in the health meter, if you said fix it because the lots are too low, it would raise it by 5. And then if that was too low, it would raise it again by 5. It would raise it to 70, and until the health meter was happy with the number.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay. Folks, thank you so much for being here with us today. I'm going to end it. I'm going to be last today. So ladies first, Crypto Casey.
I was just going to say, super smart, super super
Smartest
awesome
first.
people first.
Yeah, I don't mind
No,
speaking
no.
while you're interrupting. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Let's go youngest first. How about that?
Hey,
Last
hey,
one in.
hey.
Oh yeah, and then the next youngest.
Okay,
No,
Casey, leave us
sorry
with
for the
your
technical difficulties. I'm glad I was able to do. I can't really. This is iPad, so I can't really. I don't even know where the camera is. But thank you guys for being here. Happy Saturday. Hopefully your weekend is going well. If you want to join us again, I have the next Wednesdays for next month free. We'll maybe discuss between Ed, Edward, and Attila and I if we want to do some Saturday stuff. Leave us some comments about that. I mean, right now in this market, you can't really do anything. This is a really good addition to an overall investment strategy. We've had a lot of good feedback. I've had a lot of good experiences. I mean, at the end of the day, if you need more information, just come hang out with us. I mean, that
Amen.
usually is the best message.
Amen. Ed Barsano, final words?
I think I know I haven't said it all, but
Did you use up all your words today?
I've said quite a bit already.
Yeah.
We don't want to get into the Iran war and all that stuff,
No,
but
we already got the toe fungus thing taken care of.
no, I really appreciate you guys inviting me to these webinars. It's the highlight of my week, seriously.
Cool.
We
So
appreciate
all
you
I'm
as
going to
well.
say is go Navy.
Go Navy.
Very
Thank you.
good.
Edward?
I just want to mirror your sentiments, everybody's sentiments. Thank you so much for investing your valuable time in learning. We hope you're taking away something. Remember the mental picture of the 3 scenarios. Where are you now and where you want to be? We've given you as many tools as we possibly can. to shepherd you along the way. We've invited you into our home. That is our private community. Take advantage of that. It's not going to be free forever, but we're looking to always provide as much information for you to improve your financial life, counter culture to what you've been taught. And we're here infinitum. So please join us. Oh, let me make an announcement. We're getting one step closer to pay really close attention to the fact that we are about to launch our very first book, and we are so blessed to have the opportunity to have Crypto Casey part of the project. She wrote the foreword to the book based on her experience with us going from scam to not scam, right? So, but it's a step by step where no matter where you are in the learning cycle of decentralized finance, the name of the book is The Digital Money Revolution. And it is a step-by-step plan that takes you from anywhere that you want to start into the opportunities that we teach all the time. So please stay tuned for that. We'll let everybody know when we put it on pre-sale. I also put in our YouTube channel, which is where we share the replay of this in a couple of days, and share it with people, invite them. We're also going to be talking more in the coming weeks about our affiliate program for all of our knowledge-based courses and information where you have access to. And if you spread the word, you get to use it and other people get to benefit and you get paid. So we'll stay tuned to all of that, and we'll be able to explain it along the way. So with that very long way to say thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, awesome. And Go Baby Trade definitely has its place in our outcoming book. Incoming.
Upcoming. It's in our book.
So Attila, can I make a comment before you say your final words?
Of course, yeah.
Because I always remember my last words after everybody else talks. No, I wanted to make a comment to everyone out there that has accounts, crypto accounts, anywhere, wherever you have them. You gotta teach a loved one how to log in. Because if anything happens to you, because I've been doing this 25 years, and sadly to say, some people pass away over those 25 years. And if anything happens to you, your coins are gone, baby. Your loved one doesn't know how to log into that Coinbase account, your coins are gone. Yep. So it'll just, you gotta teach. I'm gonna tell you, my wife can log into my account from her computer without my help at all.
That's great.
She and everybody needs to have somebody to be able to do that. Because sometimes I'm helping people and they take a half hour to log in to their Coinbase account. I'm like, man, if you can't even log into your account, how's anybody else going to do it?
Good advice.
So yeah, that's I just want to point that out, and that is an important thing. So
thank
that's
you.
my final word.
I just want to say, Saeed is asking, how can I set a time for an in-person talk? Saeed, you could click on the email address that Edward posted numerous times in this Zoom in the chat. Just scroll up and you'll see a couple email addresses. The main one being support@rctmarketingsystems.com, or you could even do support@financialintelligence4u.com, but it's in the chat there. So feel free. You're all going to have, in case you miss it before we sign off here, Saeed, you're all going to have a replay in 24 hours. So you could chat with us anytime. But Edward, you want to just put it in real quick one last time while I'm signing off, so he could just click on it and copy it to his desktop.
Put what in?
Our email address, so we can.
I already did.
I think it's already there.
He put the support@gobabytrade.com. That's pretty much.
Yeah, yep. You could send it to support@gobabytrade.com, and I'll be happy to chat with you.
Yep.
Well, that's I think
what you got 3 hours to kill.
Yeah, I put in both support@gobabytrade.com and support@RCT Marketing Systems, and I'll put our
RCT Marketing Systems, Saeed, is Edward and I. Okay.
And we use our phones to talk. I don't use Telegram and all that other kind of stuff.
Well, and that's why we created. Everybody was asking for is there a community that we're creating on, whatever, Telegram or whatever. So what we did was to keep your information safe and to keep it a more of a close knit, private channel. That's what I posted. I'll post it again, but you can join the channel. Lots and lots of good. It's growing. We've got a couple other people that have already joined. You're welcome to join. We do, as a bonus, put out different reports. We put out a weekly what do you need to know about last week in the crypto and DeFi market, and then what to pay attention to in the upcoming week. That seems to be resonating with a bunch of people. Like I said, it's free for now, so don't miss it.
Okay, are you done?
Am I done?
Yeah.
Are you done, Ed?
I'm done.
Okay.
All right, guys, thank you again for being here this Saturday. Crypto Casey, thank you for coming back in after your technical issues. We appreciate you.
Sure.
An amazing video today that you did. That's a keeper, boy. That's 13 minutes of solid content. Ed Barsano, as always, thank you for giving up your time twice a week in the last 2 weeks. We'll see you Wednesday. Folks, we are here every Wednesday, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, that link is in the show notes of Crypto Casey's channel. Okay, and if you register, even if you can't make it, you're always going to get the recording within 24 hours. So with that, all I could say is thank you again, and go forth and multiply your money with the GoBabyTrade technology. Bye for now. See you next time.
Be safe out there, guys.
Be safe out there.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Bye. See you guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.